Colorectal cancer doesn't stop for COVID-19. Hello, I'm Dr. Cecilia Brewington. If you are age 45 or older, it's time to return to care and get tested. The government requires insurance companies to cover not only colonoscopy, but a range of tests, including virtual colonoscopy and other less invasive exams. Talk to your doctor about your options today. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org.
Did you know if you're an adult living with asthma or COPD, getting sick with pertussis may result in severe complications? Pertussis, or whooping cough, is a serious respiratory illness. Vaccination is the best way to help protect against pertussis. Speak to your healthcare provider to ensure you are up to date on your Tdap vaccination. Learn more at lung.org.
My son Finn was born with congenital heart disease. He ended up spending about the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. During that time, he endured 10 surgeries, including an open heart surgery. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in my family's life. For 5 weeks when he was a baby, Finn lived in a Starlight Hero wagon. You could not understand the pure joy of having him go from a hospital bed into his favorite red wagon. Starlight doesn't just give items that hospitalized kids can use to keep themselves happy, but also memories, moments, and experiences which are so needed in times like these. They allow sick kids to just be kids for a little while. The support that Starlight provides to families like mine is an integral part to creating happiness at a time when there's very little to be found. Learn more about how Starlight Children's Foundation brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker.
It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Good morning and welcome in. Indeed, it is Sports 56 Mornings here on what is going to be another just absolutely lovely. I think you could almost say perfect day weather-wise here in the Mid-South when we're talking mid-August in Memphis and the temperatures we are going to be seeing after a beautiful day yesterday. Another one is on tap for today. Welcome in here in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. That is Family Leisure, located at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. This is indeed Sports 56 Mornings. It is the Wednesday, August 16, 2023 edition of the program. I am Eli Savoy. Zach Boyd is here. No Greg Gaston today. Greg will be back on the program next week. Coming up on today's program, we do have a busy program as always. Coming up at 8:05 today, Tom Murphy, who covers the Arkansas Razorbacks for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, WholeHogSports.com. He will be joining me. We'll talk a little about this just, I don't know what you want, pattern, I guess, almost, of travesties that have hit this Arkansas program. The latest, of course, being Alex Collins, who played for the Memphis Showboats this past season, tragically passing away in the motorcycle accident the other day at just the age of 28. But we'll also get into this year's Arkansas team and Tom's expectations for them. And it is Arkansas is interesting to me because you would say most times if you have a team who has a second-team preseason all-conference quarterback and a first-team preseason all-conference running back, you got to believe that team's pretty darn good, which is what Arkansas had in the media voting at SEC Media Days. KJ Jefferson, second-team quarterback. Rocket Sanders, first-team running back. Yet despite that, they were picked 5th in the West. That also says a lot about the SEC Western Division. But those are 2 really good players. And so we'll talk with Tom about his expectations for this season for the Arkansas Razorbacks. As expected, no surprise, the Michael Orr Tui family suit got a little uglier. Took a little uglier turn as the Tuies kind of officially responded through their attorneys to the filings by Michael Orr, and that relationship is clearly not a good one right now. And who knows where this is headed, how much uglier it will get. But the Tuies, with some accusations of their own about Michael Orr in this latest response from them and their attorneys. Also, the NBA announced officially the schedule for the in-season tournament. So we now know when, and we knew who the Grizzlies were going to be playing. And we had a pretty good idea of how it would split up. But now we officially have the dates and teams, opponents, times, all of that for the 4 in-season tournament games that the Grizzlies know they will play, and then from there it depends on what you do and if you advance on to the actual tournament itself. But we'll go over that, let you know the details as far as that is concerned. Messi did it again, just keeps on doing it. Miami keeps on doing it again, and they are going to be playing in Nashville on Saturday night. That's right. Messi is coming to Nashville. Everybody wants to go to Nashville. Told you, Nashville's like the it city. And now Messi will be bringing Inter Miami. Inter Miami will be entering Nashville Saturday night for the final of the League's Cup, whatever the hell that is. But he has now scored in every game. He has scored in 6 straight games. He's played in 6, scored in 6, 9 total goals. Last night's came from 31 meters away. That's a long way. I mean, I don't know, that goalie, come on, dude. If you can't block a ball from 31 meters away, that's a problem. But nonetheless, Miami gets another win, undefeated with Messi, and advancing on to Nashville this Saturday night. Speaking of soccer, the Women's World Cup. Zach, will you double-check to make sure England has wrapped up the win? They were, I think, in extra time up 3-1, so I would assume they have either, if it's not wrapped up, it is close to it, and they are going to move on.
Yes, it's full time.
Final? 3-1? Yep. Was it 3-1 final?
3-1.
So the Women's World Cup final is set for Sunday. That is Spain versus England. Spain versus England in the Women's World Cup final. ESPN has ranked the top 100 college football players for this season. We'll tell you, go over that list a little bit, tell you about how many are from the SEC, and some of the teams that are just stocked full of guys who are in that top 100 list. Notes from baseball, more bad news for the Tampa Bay Rays. They haven't had much good news recently at all. And more bad news for the New York Yankees. The AL East looking more and more like it's going to go to the Baltimore Orioles, which is crazy. But nonetheless, that's where it looks like it is headed. Of course, as I mentioned, we've got a beautiful day on tap. If the forecast is correct, that is, we're looking at a high around 81 degrees. Yes, a high of only 81 degrees. Sunshine, clouds, a little mixture of both. But if you look at the forecast for the next few days, it's going to warm up some. It's going to get back into the mid-90s, looks like by the end of the weekend. But it's a lot of sun, very little chance for rain. We are in a pretty darn good weather pattern. It's looking like Friday for the start of the high school football season. Temperatures are going to be a little warmer than what they are right now. They're supposed to get up into the low 90s on Friday. But again, no chance of rain. Looks like it should be a great Friday night. I mean, tonight you're talking about a low of like 64 degrees. It was gorgeous yesterday. Last night, I was almost getting chilly outside. I was like, what is this stuff? After what we had last week, especially like last Friday and Saturday out at the golf tournament, boy, does this feel great. But that's your forecast for today. A lot of sun, few clouds, highs in the low 80s. And again, tonight's low down into the mid-60s. So, Mr. Zach Boyd, how are you doing today?
Oh, we're doing good. Like you said, the weather really, it was really good. It didn't. My skin didn't burn yesterday.
I mean, again, yeah, this is like, gosh, this is like a godsend. So today is August 16th. You do know why that is a special day in Memphis, correct?
Today's my grandmother's birthday.
Okay, do you know the other reason why that is a special day in Memphis?
Other than my grandmother, no.
This is the anniversary of the death of one Elvis Presley.
Oh.
August 16th, 1977. So last night was the candlelight vigil. I did not go this year. I haven't been the last few years. It's a little harder, especially when it's on a weeknight, when you got to get up early and be here and be on the air. When I was, we were working the midday, it's easier to go out there. Because we used to like to go later when it was a little bit calmer. But I know our buddy Rob Fisher went again last night. He goes all the time. And I'm sure there were a lot of folks out there, especially with that weather. And I'm sure they had a great time out there. It is, as I've said many times when I used to go to it all the time, if you've never been to the Candlelight Vigil, especially if you live here in Memphis, you need to do it just once, at least. It is an unbelievable people-watching event. The little individual vigils and the artwork and things that people do out there to honor Elvis, absolutely, it's crazy. It's crazy how good some of it is. And it's just, again, we're talking here, this is from 1977. This is 2023. And there are still thousands of people who come from around the world on this date and this week to honor the memory of Elvis Presley. That will never cease to amaze me how that thing just continues and how many people come and how far they are willing to come for this week, Elvis week. And of course, again, today the anniversary is that. Speaking of Elvis, our 5 favorite things today. We'll do it about 9:30. It is your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection. And that could be any type of Memphis connection. It could be an actor who's from Memphis, who's in the movie. The movie could have been filmed partially or fully in Memphis. It could deal with a Memphis subject, like Elvis. Obviously, Elvis made a lot of movies himself as an actor. He could be in the movie. It could be anything that connects it to Memphis. There's one movie that everywhere I look says it has a Memphis connection, and I don't really know what it is. I guess there's some footage in the movie of Memphis somewhere. So I'm going to believe, because it was on like IMDb and all these things. Like it has it as movies that like filmed, if you Google movies filmed in Memphis. I don't think it was actually filmed there, but I think there may have been some footage used or something. So I'm going to believe him because it's number 1 on my list. I have to put it. Everything I see says it, even though I don't remember it. Of course, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's number 1 on my list. But that is your 5 favorite things for today. Your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection. And you can get those in. You can text them in, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. You can also send them in on Twitter. You could send them in on Facebook. You could send them in all over the place. Wherever you want to send those lists in, you can do it at Eli560, at Sports56WHBQ on Twitter. Again, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, you could send those there as well. Again, your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection in them. We'll do that at about 9:30. Guest-wise, we got Tom Murphy, as I mentioned, coming up at 8:05. And, of course, DeMichael Cole will join us coming up at 9:05, right before 5 favorite things. And we'll talk Grizzlies with him as we do each and every week. Speaking of the Grizzlies, mentioned the NBA officially announcing dates and times, the schedule for the in-season tournament, which will debut this year in the NBA. And so the Grizzlies, we knew the opponents. They are in the pool with Portland, Utah, the Lakers, and Phoenix. Those pools had been previously announced, previously drawn. The first, and these play-in games will be taking place on Fridays. It's Friday, November 3rd, Friday, November 10th, Tuesday, November 14th, and Friday, November 24th. That's the dates for the pool play of the in-season tournament. On Friday, November 3rd, the Grizzlies will play their first in-season tournament game. It will be at Portland. And that'll be a 9 o'clock game here Central Time. Then, the following Friday, they will play Utah. That'll be at home. That'll be a 7 o'clock game. Then on Tuesday the 14th, they are at the Lakers. That'll be a 9:30 game Central Time. And then on Friday, November 24th, which is Black Friday, they will play the Phoenix Suns. That'll be the home game. And that will be a late afternoon, early evening game. That's going to be late afternoon, 4 p.m. game on Black Friday. I don't think the Grizzlies have never done that, but they've never played an afternoon game like that on Black Friday, have they? That you remember?
Not that I know of, no.
I think they've played on Black Friday before, but I think it's always been the normal
It's like
7 o'clock
or
game time.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, but they will play at 4 o'clock local time here. It'll be televised on NBA TV. That is the only one of their 4 games that is televised theoretically nationally. They did not get any of the ESPN TNT slots. I wonder why. I wonder why early in the season the Grizzlies aren't getting the big national television spots. Would you have any idea why maybe there would be a reason the Grizzlies wouldn't get ESPN or TNT games early on this season? Say maybe like the first 25 games of this season, they wouldn't be on the big national television slots. I don't know. Just wondering. I don't know if anybody has any idea why that might be the case.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the weather's better on that time.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird. This is exactly what we figured. We knew when we saw the pool. We even said I said on the air. We talked about on the air that you're probably going to get Portland and Utah, 1 home, 1 road. You're going to get the Lakers and Phoenix, 1 home, 1 road. That's the way it works out. It gets Phoenix at home, Lakers on the road in this. Then after these 4 games are done, then the teams advance on. The top teams, the winner of each pool, advances on to the knockout round, as they call it. And there will be 8 teams that advance in each. And then you're going to have, and those will be played at home sites. And then the winners of that, it's the winners of the pool play, and then the top 2 other teams. Out of the 6 groups, you got 3 Western Conference groups, 3 Eastern Conference groups. So the top team in each one of those advances, and then the top 2 other teams that did not win their pool also advance on to the 8-team. Again, the quarterfinals played at home sites. Those teams will advance on to the semifinals. Then obviously 2 teams advance on to the finals. Those will be played in Las Vegas. Here's the thing, though, Zach. Did you realize this? We're, I think, going to get the Grizzlies schedule tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, I think the official schedule's coming out tomorrow, I believe. Full schedule. But when the NBA schedules are coming out, you're going to get on those schedules, you're only going to have 80 games. Because while every team will play 6 games in the play-in tournament, they don't know your last 2 yet. You only know the first 4 based on your pool play. So the actual schedule that comes out will have 80 games on it. It will have 40 home games and 40 road games. Here's the thing with this play-in tournament, and this could upset some teams. There is a chance, because of the tournament and the way it works, there will be teams, in all likelihood, now it could work out perfectly, but there could very well be teams, and likely will be, that never get their 41st home game.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I mean, from a revenue standpoint, it's still a lot of money.
You just lose a home game off your schedule. Like that's teams don't like to do that. Teams want to get their 41st home game. But because of the way this works, so once the teams advance to the quarterfinals. Now, if you don't make the quarterfinals of the tournament, if you do not finish, you don't win your pool play, you're not one of the 2 wild cards, then you will be scheduled 2 games. One of them will be at home and one of them will be on road. So that is your now 41st home game and your 41st road game. So those teams, they're going to have 41 and 41. But if you advance into the quarterfinals, let's say you are the 7 seed. Let's not say 7, because there's 6 groups. Let's say the Grizzlies win their pool. So they are going to the quarterfinals, but they are the 6th seed. So they will play on the road in the quarterfinals. And so that is their 41st road game.
Mm-hmm.
If you advance, you're going to Vegas for the semifinals.
So it doesn't count as a home game.
So you don't ever get another home game. If in that first round, in the quarterfinals, if all the higher seeds win, all the home teams win, they say in the scheduling, the losers of the quarterfinal games are going to play each other. That'll be their next game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously, if all 4 home teams win, that means all 4 road teams lost. They can't all those 4 can't all play a home game. Only 2 of them can.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
So you could play, in that scenario, you would play, and I don't know how they'll determine who's home, and I guess it would probably be maybe the higher seeds out of those. In that scenario, you would play 42 road games and 40 home. In the other scenario, you would play 41 road games and 40 at home, but you would then the last game would be a neutral site game in Las Vegas, the semifinals. But yeah, so for it to work out perfectly, like in the quarterfinals, 2 of the higher seeds have to win, 2 of the lower seeds have to win. Like, it has to work out perfectly for everybody to play 41 and 41. In all likelihood, there's going to be teams that miss out on home games. And if you're the Grizzlies or you're like, you don't want to give up that 41st home game. Yeah, that's a lot of revenue. Just not having a home game on your schedule is not a good thing. I mean, and the Grizzlies, heck, they're not even, because their ticket prices aren't astronomical like some of these places. Like, they don't make nearly as much revenue as some others. That if they lose a home game, that's even a bigger deal for them. But it's interesting that's like, you could very, very well see, and you will probably see, teams that don't get to play a 41st home game this season. And again, I think if it's not tomorrow, here in the next couple of days, we are, I believe, supposed to have the full schedule. Obviously, the Christmas Day stuff leaked out. The opening night doubleheader leaked out. Now they've released this. And so I think we're going to have the full schedule, the full Grizzlies schedule here over the next couple of days. And I don't know why the NBA, not that they're comparable to the NFL, but I don't know why the NBA doesn't do more of a, like, here on this day, we are announcing our schedule. This is it. And you've got NBA TV. Like, why you could do a little thing on there. Like, again, it's not the NFL. The NFL makes a big deal, and ESPN and NFL Network, they got its big shows, all that stuff. And I know people care more about the NFL schedule. But if you have NBA TV, why slowly leak every little bit, like all these things about your schedule? Why not do a big one-night schedule release where you announce all the Christmas Day games, which everybody wants to know. You announce the opening day. You announce this, and then you allow all the teams at that time, they release their schedule. But they slowly leak it out over time, and then eventually the teams release their schedules. That's the way the NBA chooses to do it. But nonetheless, again, for the Grizzlies, they get in the in-season tournament. They get Utah and Phoenix at home. They get Portland and the Lakers on the road. That's November 3rd, November 10th, November 14th, and November 24th. Phoenix, November 24th on Black Friday will be a 4 o'clock game, which is a bit unusual as far as that is concerned. We're going to take a break. Again, later in the show, we'll talk with DeMichael Cole about the Grizzlies, all things Grizzlies, including the in-season tournament, other stuff as far as that is concerned. When we come back, we shift our attention to the latest, which came out yesterday in the Michael Orr, Sean Toohey, Leanne Toohey situation. We also We'll get into a little bit of Major League Baseball, college football later on. Of course, Tom Murphy to talk a little Arkansas, but ESPN also coming out with their list of the top 100 players in college football. Who tops that list? How many SEC guys you think are in the top 100 of that? Still plenty more to get to on this beautiful Wednesday. In the anniversary of Elvis's death. Hope folks had a great time at the vigil last night. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day once again with highs just in the low 80s and a lot of sunshine out there today. We're just getting rolling on a Wednesday here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right, over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing direct to the public. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Did you know a percentage of accidents are because people are texting and driving at the same time? If you've been hit by a driver texting and not paying attention to the road, call the law offices of Arthur Horn III. You probably know them for their big cases, but they know your case is big too. Let them represent you. Join the winning team at the law offices of Arthur Horn III. Call today. Arthur Horn III, 901-331-1816. That's 901-331-1816. And please, don't text and drive.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Working a couple accidents on the roadways. You got an accident on Covington Pike North at Riley-LaGrange and Battle Creek Drive. That's Covington Pike North between Riley-LaGrange and Battle Creek Drive. Also, accident on Highway 64 at Houston Levy Canada Road. And then accident on Walnut Grove West at Sanga Road. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios on this beautiful Wednesday. Eli and Zach with you today. No Greg. If you want to join the program, you can. 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. That is the Sports 56 listener line, which you can call or text. Again, you can get your list in for 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite movies with any Memphis connection. You can send those in via the Sports 56 listener line, as well as on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, wherever you might be watching us or listening to us. You can get those lists into us. Again, 901-360-8255 is the Sports 56 listener line. Well, yesterday we talked a lot about the situation with the Michael Orr filings and what is going on there, as he claims that he was deceived by the Toohey family. Even duped into signing some contracts that he didn't know what he was signing. They actually had never adopted him. It was only they only made themselves his conservators. Yesterday, and we had a little bit. We had gotten some from Sean Toohey because he had talked with Jeff Calkins. But yesterday, an official statement from the Toohey family and their attorneys, which is a pretty all-star group of attorneys, which you would expect. But Martin Singer issued the statement. And in there, they call Orr's claims outlandish. So the idea that the family ever sought to profit off Mr. Orr is not only offensive, it is transparently ridiculous. So we've officially gotten it ugly. When we're starting to go outlandish and ridiculous, now we're there. You figured it was going there. In reality, the Tooheys opened their home to Mr. Orr, offered him structure, support, and most of all, unconditional love. They have consistently treated him like a son and one of their 3 children. His response was to threaten them, including saying that he would plant a negative story about them in the press unless they paid him $15 million. Don Barrett, from Orr's legal team, said in a statement in response, "We try cases in the courtroom based on the facts. We have confidence in our judicial system and in our client, Michael Orr. We believe that justice will be served in the courtroom, and we hope to get there quickly." There's also, in the statement from the Tooheys, in that statement, they say that Orr, and I'm quoting here, has actually attempted to run this play several times before, but it seems that numerous other lawyers stopped representing him once they saw the evidence and learned the truth. Sadly, Mr. Orr has finally found a willing enabler and filed this ludicrous lawsuit as a cynical attempt to drum up attention in the middle of his latest book tour. Wow. So, again, you knew this was getting ugly. I mean, this was going. I had no idea that the relationship had soured the way it had apparently over time. But when you're talking about now, they're basically talking about blackmail, extortion, whatever you want to say. Like that, they're basically accusing Michael Orr of that. When you're saying that he threatened to plant a story unless you paid him $15 million. You're saying that this is not the first time he's even attempted to do this. Those are pretty damning accusations. The thing is this, as I said yesterday, the actual financial part from the movie seems like it will be very easy to determine because the movie company, was that Warner Brothers? Was it a Warner Brothers? I think it was. I don't know. I can't remember.
20th Century Fox.
Okay. They're going to have good records. We're going to know how much money they've sent out to the Toohey family. And then amongst that, if the Tooheys divided it up equally as they said, there's got to be a record of that because there would be tax implications, everything else. So that should be very easy to prove. Here's the money we gave to them. This is, or I don't know if I don't know if the movie company was writing one big check, and I assume it was, and then they distribute it. But it'll be very simple to figure out, first, how much money was made by the family off the movie, and there should be pretty good trail of where that money went once they got it, and if there were deposits into an account or something for Michael Orr, seems pretty easy to prove. That will be, to me, will be the easy part about this, of figuring out the money as far as the movie is concerned. As I also said yesterday, there is no doubt that the Tooheys have benefited financially off of Michael Orr. This story, this movie, this book, everything else, beyond any money they got for it, from the actual movie paying them for the story, for all of that, they have become. They are. Leanne Toohey, again, was all over TV for a long time. She was on Extreme Makeover Home Edition. She's been on numerous things. She's all over the place. They do speaking tours, this stuff. They would not be doing that without this story, without Michael Orr having become a part of their life. I feel pretty, Sean was a fantastic businessman, very successful businessman, but the stuff that they do, they would not be doing that if Michael Orr had never come into their life. So there is a financial gain off of Michael Orr for the Tooheys. That there's no disputing that. How much of that money, if any, they ever gave Michael, I have no idea. Should he have gotten some of it? Absolutely. Again, this is only happening because he came into your life. To me, the big thing, if they truly duped him into signing away his life story, as what he says they did, if they duped him into signing some contract, he didn't know what he was signing, and he literally was signing away the rights to his life story, that's awful. There is no other way around it. That would be an awful, awful thing. Whether they did that or not, I have no idea. And I guess maybe we'll figure it out and they can find it out and make that ruling in court. If they did that, if they had him signing anything that he didn't know what he was signing, because and especially if it was intentionally deceitful in what you were being deceitful in trying to hide what he was signing. Absolutely awful. I don't care what it was. Anytime if you're having somebody sign something and you're deceiving them as to what they're signing, absolutely awful stuff. Awful stuff. Going back to, did they financially benefit from Michael? Yes. Did they, when they brought in Michael Orr, did they do it because they saw all of that coming? I don't know. it's hard to try and determine whether in a court of law or anywhere. Like, we don't know what their true intentions were. Like, you could take people at their word or whatever. I don't know. Was it that Sean Tuohy saw this massive kid who was really good at football, wanted to play at Ole Miss? Could have been. Was it more than that they thought, man, this dude's not only going to be able to be a college football player, could play on my alma mater, could be an NFL player, it could be a great story? I have no idea. And nobody knows. Nobody has any clue other than them what their true intentions were. On the other side, I think if any of this stuff is true, if Michael Orr has threatened them before, or even in this case, said, listen, I'm going to go to the press with a bad story about you unless you pay me $15 million. Basically, you're trying to extort $15 million out of them. That's awful as well. I don't know what Michael Orr's financial situation is. He made, I think, he made over $30 million in the NFL. Obviously, he's had the book. He's had, I think, one book. This is his second book, I think. I don't know what his financial situation is. And it doesn't matter. Like, if you need money, that doesn't make this right. Again, but also if they haven't been giving you any money for all of the financial gain that they have gotten off of this, that's all awful. It's unfortunate because on the surface, before anything else came out, it's a great story. Like, that's why it made a movie that people loved and everything else. Like, you have this family that took in this kid and who needed a place to go. He turns out to be very successful, makes, again, over $30 million in the NFL. Like, he had a very successful life on his own in making money. And so for it to come to this and all of this, the accusations and everything else, it's unfortunate. Again, the truth, I guess they'll try and figure that out in a court of law if we get there. Based on this statement from the Tuohys and their lawyers, doesn't look like they're really in the mood to settle. Most things like this would settle. And again, with the Tuohys having as much money as they have, maybe you would think that they would just write a check to be done with it. But based on that statement issued yesterday, doesn't feel like they're real motivated to settle this thing. I don't know. Again, nobody knows the truth at this point. And certainly there's no way to know the intentions of the Tuohys. Nobody else can just know their intentions. I like Sean, as I said yesterday. I don't really know Leanne. I don't know Sean Jr., and I don't know Collins. I certainly don't know Michael. Had him, interviewed him, stuff like that, but don't know him. Don't know what his financial situation is. All of that stuff. It is a really bizarre thing that it's come to this. Like, just the idea, if you go back, what year was the movie released?
It was in 2009.
Okay. So just think if you got 2009 when that movie comes out and it's all people, it's success, and she's winning, Sandra Bullock's winning an Academy Award nominated for Best Picture. If somebody said 14 years from now, he's going to be accusing them of not giving him any money, they're going to be saying he's trying to extort $15 million from him. Like, you would think, what in the world? Like, honestly, this is now unfolding into where literally, like, you do need the sequel to The Blind Side because people love movies like this. People love these types of storylines. We got extortion. We got all kinds of accusations from both sides. Like it literally is like a sequel to The Blind Side would be this portion of the story.
It is a triple entendre, if you could say.
And as I said, like it's a very simple title. It's Blindsided.
Yeah,
because they have been blindsided.
Both of them blindsided each other, and this is still football.
A texter on the Sports 56 listener line says, "Let's not forget that this is their story just as much as it is his story. without them, Michael's just another football player who came from a poor background. There's 100 of those in the NFL. Yeah, again, listen, if Michael doesn't end up with the Tuohys, now I guess he could theoretically have ended up with another family, but if his path continued the way it was, we don't know where Michael Orr would have ended up. We don't know that Michael Orr would have ever made it to college, made it to the NFL. We have no idea what his path was or where it would have resulted. So, yeah, I mean, again, there's no question that Michael Orr also benefited from the Tuohys. And this is a kid who had no home. He's in the foster system. And to end up, I mean, regardless of whether they were giving him money or not from the movie, they gave him a place to live, a pretty nice place at that time. He was able to go to Briarcrest, go to Ole Miss, and get an NFL career. And he may have been an NFL player without them. We don't know. But he may have not, because who knows? Like, there's, I'm sure, numerous kids out there who, with that type of background, have the talent, have the ability to be maybe an NFL player, but they never get the opportunity because they're just lost in the system. So, yeah, he benefited from the Tuohys. They, no doubt, financially benefited from him coming into their life. And the thing, like, it should be the big happy story that we all thought it was. Like, everybody benefited. He went on to a great life. They went on to a great life. And everybody should love it. Instead, here we are. Mudslinging from both sides and a lawsuit in court to try to determine what the hell actually happened. Was there any deceiving going on? And who deserves what? Does Michael Orr deserve more money? And I guess they in their statement, they said they are fine ending the conservatorship, which that once he got to the NFL, like, to me, certainly at that point, I would have thought that would have ended anyway. I don't know the legalities of all this stuff. Like, it's bizarre to me. Like, there was no reason for them to still be. It doesn't seem like, to me, again, completely ignorant on this subject, there would have been no reason for them to still be his conservators once he's like an adult out earning a living on his own as an NFL player making millions of dollars. And I'll say this too, I don't know what it is. I hope that Michael Orr doesn't need the money. I hope that Michael Orr has done well with the millions of dollars he earned in the NFL and with these books, and he's just trying to do this to set the record straight and make sure things are right with him and the family because he feels like he was deceived. I hope that's the case, because I hope that for every professional. Anybody, if you're a professional athlete, you made millions. Like, I hope that you invest that money and you never have to work again. It should be life-changing. You make over $30 million, you shouldn't have to work again if you do things correctly with it. But I have no idea what that situation is with Michael. I hope for his sake, again, that he's got plenty of that money left over, and this is simply a thing to, hey, I just want to set the record straight. I want to get what I believe is owed to me and make sure that everybody understands what actually happened here. But we'll see. This will continue to play out. They'll be in court or they'll settle. Let's see. Again, it doesn't look like it's on a path to settlement at this point, but nonetheless, we will see where it goes. Memphis Barbecue Supply. Folks, we are getting to the fall. I mean, it's feeling like fall weather out there yesterday, today, and fall means football. That means tailgating. People will be bringing their grills out. Heck, if you're hosting maybe a little football gathering for people to watch the games, you want to fire up that grill. It's grilling season is what I'm telling you. And when it comes to grilling season, one place you need to know, that's Memphis Barbecue Supply. When it comes to supplies, it's right there in their name, you're not going to find a bigger one. If you need charcoal or fuel, as they would say, well, if you've used the old-fashioned briquettes, 6 different kinds. If you use the lump charcoal like I use, that's what you use in the Big Green Egg and those types of grills, the lump charcoal, which is absolutely outstanding. I had no idea what lump charcoal was until I got my Big Green Egg. Well, they got 4 different lump charcoals. And I know I've used at least 3 of them. All a little bit different. They got a knowledgeable staff that will kind of tell you what the difference is between one and the next. If you've got one of the pellet grills, 14 varieties in stock. 4,000 pounds of pellet in stock at Memphis Barbecue Supply. They've also got all your woods, all your flavored woods for your smoking. Peach, cherry, apple, pecan, hickory, whatever. From chips to chunks to logs. They've got all that. They've got rubs and sauces. Over 300 rubs and sauces. All under one roof, one place, 7041 Stage Road. You can also go online, mbbqsupply.com, where you can order online. Follow on social media. They let you know when new things come in. They let you know about recipes because they've got a great staff. Jimmy over there, Jimmy knows what he's doing with a grill. You don't open up a store like this without knowing what you're doing. That's the great thing, too. First time I ever wanted to smoke my turkey for Thanksgiving, once I got my Big Green Egg, I went into Jimmy. I said, Jimmy, I'm doing a turkey. Help me. I've never done this. I've looked online, some things like that, and Jimmy was like, okay, here's what you need. This is going to be the best here. This is going to be the best there. This is the best wood to use. All of that. Like that, and it's not just Jimmy, it's an entire staff. They can help you. If you've got questions about anything, they're going to help you over at Memphis Barbecue Supply. Get 7041 Stage Road. Back to wrap up hour number 1. Coming up in hour number 2, Tom Murphy on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Hour number 3, DeMichael Cole on the Grizzlies. 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite movies with any Memphis connection. We're continuing here on Sports 56 Mornings next on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Attention, everyone. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. Let me say that again. Family Leisure is needing your help to clear out their inventory. And to do so, there are tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools are $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pools for less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Hey, if you need patio furniture, they have patio furniture that's now up to 30% off. Spas are in stock. They're up to $1,200 off. Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. 24 months, same as cash financing, is now available through this sale. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory, so come and do your part at Family Leisure. Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just 1 dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
For nearly 4 decades, Corky's Ribs and Barbecue has been serving up that delicious slow-smoked barbecue to Memphians and Mid-Southerners alike. You can dine in, carry out, or drive through with no contact delivery. And you can have Corky's cater any event you got coming up for as low as $8.99 per person. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Reserve your private party room right now at the Cordova or Olive Branch locations. Add a third of a rack of ribs for just $6.99 when you purchase an entree like their barbecue sandwich or award-winning catfish plate. Party packs start at just $7.49 and lunch specials every single day. 4 convenient locations in the Mid-South: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning! On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So the lists that have come in for 5 favorite things, pretty interesting because they're okay. And I'm willing to let you be pretty loose. Like I'm not a stickler like Greg. I'm not gonna criticize you. As far as using a Memphis connection to a movie, I'll let the surrounding area of Memphis counts. Our buddy John from up in Covington asked me if that he even asked me separately yesterday, does the surrounding communities count? Now they went Morgan Freeman. I'll allow it. I did not use him as a Memphis connection. If I did, it would change my list a lot because Morgan Freeman's, Shawshank Redemption alone would be absolutely on my list, probably number 1 on my list, one of my favorite movies. But again, you can use that. Again, I'll let you be loose on these things. I have no. I'm not a hard teacher. I grade on a curve. But our buddy Grant, he came in and he's got the one that I have number 1 on my list. He even gets specific. He says that there was video of the courthouse here in Memphis used in this movie. So if that is the case, then I don't have to remove it from my list because again, everywhere I looked, it said that there was a Memphis connection to this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it at number 1 on my list.
There's another movie that has a scene. I don't want to get too specific of it, but it's like there is a scene of a Memphis landmark in the movie.
And again, that's obviously a Memphis connection to a movie. Again, it could be filmed here, could just be one little scene, could be an actor. Could be actress, whatever. Anything ties that movie to Memphis. Obviously, again, this was inspired. A couple of reasons I did this week. One, the story, the Sean Dewey, Michael Orr story. Obviously, that is a very prominent movie that has a very direct Memphis connection. But also with this being today, as the day we do it, the anniversary of Elvis's death. Obviously, Elvis did a lot of movies. There are a lot of movies about Elvis, including a very recent one that was an Academy Award nominee that could very well make any list. Anything dealing with Elvis obviously qualifies for this, and that's not even debatable if he was in it or if there's anything. Obviously, you've got Penny Hardaway who was in a movie. You've got plenty of other actors and things from Memphis. There are a lot of movies that have Memphis connections. I will tell you that. Like it's not hard to find 5 of them. 5 favorite things. Your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection. We'll do that coming up at our final hour of the program. We'll also talk to DeMichael Cole in our final hour of the program. Zach Boyd, quick trivia question for me that I bet you will never guess right. I could use this for Humdinger's trivia next week, but I will not. Last night, because I don't know if they'll be at 500. And if it would have happened, today was Tuesday, it'd be perfect. So last night, the Yankees lost to the Braves once again. They fell to 60-60 on the season. The first time they've been at 500 this year since May 1st. It is the first time they've been at 500 this late in a season since when?
Can I like what's the ballpark here?
It's 2023 right now.
Right.
When do you think the last time the Yankees, as an organization, were at the 500 mark this late into a season?
Can I say I bet it's sometime in the 70s.
It's not that far back.
Not that far. But let's get specific. Let's say 2014.
It's not that recent. 1995.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You talk about consistency. Yeah, they have not been as low as 500. They have been above 500. When it get, I think it's 100. I don't know what the number of games in. This obviously is at 120, and it might. I guess it's from 120 on. They've not been 500 since 1995. That's incredible to have a run like that. Aaron Boone's gonna get fired.
Yeah,
Brian Cashman might get fired. They got shut out again. It's just not good. They're in last place in the division. They're not going to the postseason. It could be a complete house cleaning.
Steinbrenner owns the team, right?
Yes.
So he's not going anywhere.
No. The Steinbrenner family is but yeah, I think this could be it for Cashman. I think it could be a complete house cleaning. The whole change of the hitting coach did not work. They still can't hit for whatever reason. Shut out again last night. It's tough times. 1995. That stat blew my mind. That 1995, you've been that many years without being at the 500 mark this late into a season. Coming up to kickoff hour number 2, we talk some Alex Collins. We talk Arkansas Razorbacks. Tom Murphy from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette joins us to kick off hour number 2 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your favorite Italian pasta company and deli, Lucchese's, now ships. For over 25 years, Memphis has trusted Lucchese's to feed their loved ones, and now they've crafted 3 great comfort food meals that can be shipped across the country to your friends and family. Enjoy lasagna, ravioli, spaghetti, Italian spinach, and delicious sauces with no MSG, no preservatives, and no artificial colors. All you need to do is go to Lucchese's.com to place your order or call 901-766-9922.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P 501,5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P 560,3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties are limited. Powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. Hey, what's the scoop over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, we got deals everyone wants. How about 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, give me some EV scoop.
2023 Nero EV Win, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $292 a month. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, only $425 a month, both $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
36,000, the number of businesses which have upgraded to the #1 cloud financial system, NetSuite by Oracle. 25, NetSuite just turned 25. That's 25 years of helping businesses streamline their finances and reduce costs, because your unique business deserves a customized solution. That's NetSuite. Learn more when you download NetSuite's popular Key Performance Indicators checklist absolutely free at netsuite.com/herd, netsuite.com/herd.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Still working an accident on Covington Pike at Raleigh-LaGrange. That's Covington Pike North at Raleigh-LaGrange. Also, Highway 64 at Houston-Levy, Canada Road, accident there. And then accident on Walnut Grove West at Sango Road. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The second hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you each and every day by James Gaddis Jewelers. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Looking for that special diamond ring, that special wedding ring, or personally designed wedding set? You need to head over to James Gaddis Jewelers. They are full-service jewelers with two-bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure there's a price point to suit everyone's budget. Perhaps you're looking for that special watch, custom-made jewelry of all types, gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants. So many choices at James Gaddis Jewelers, plus the romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. Layaway and financing is available. You want to sell your gold, silver, and diamonds? James Gaddis will give you a great price on that. Plus, if you need something appraised, James is a certified appraiser. Just head over to James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue, your family's jeweler.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. It is Sports 56 Mornings. Eli and Zach with you. Know Greg today. He'll be back next week here on the program. It's going to be a beautiful day. Get outside. Take advantage of it. If you need to mow the grass, do it. I did it yesterday. I barely broke a sweat. And that doesn't happen in August in Memphis. Heck, get out, play some golf. Highs only in the low 80s today. Well, it has been an unfortunate series, really, of tragedies here recently that have rocked the Arkansas football program, from former players to what were supposed to be a current player as well. Tom Murphy covers the Arkansas Razorbacks for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, wholehogsports.com. And he joins us now on the program to talk a little bit about that, but also a little bit about this year's team, which I think is a very interesting team in the SEC West. Tom, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Pleasure to be with you guys today.
You tweeted with the story about the unfortunate, tragic death of Alex Collins. I wish I could have talked to Alex more after he left the Razorbacks. Special, special human being. So I know you, like so many others, just loved his personality, loved this guy, and had to be just completely saddened by the tragic news of his death the other day.
Yeah, indeed I was. I thought about him a whole lot. In this particular camp, they have a running back named Rocket Sanders, and he's got the fourth highest single-season rushing total, and it's right behind Alex Collins. And I was doing a story about guys that have nicknames on this team, including Rocket Sanders, and reference back to other guys who's had nicknames. And Alex went by the name Buddha. People called him Buddha. And so every time I turn around, I was doing something that related to Alex Collins. And the kid just had a big, open heart. You know, he didn't meet a stranger, just a caring individual who, in high school, I mean, I think he was a five-sport kid. He played lacrosse. He crossed over racial lines, and just he made everybody want to be around him because he smiled and he was just so open. I think when I did a feature story on him coming out of high school to sign here, I made some kind of reference to, like, he was a Pied Piper of people. People just wanted to, like, walk behind his tune, and the world's really going to miss him. Everybody he touched, you look at what John Harbaugh said. You look at what Robert Griffin III and Russell Wilson, everybody who he was around, he touched them in a positive way, and what a tragic loss, and just love that kid.
It's, so this past year he was here, of course, with the Memphis Showboats, and I remembered obviously his college career. It was a great college career that he had. I think probably underappreciated the numbers he put up. I remember the last game he played in college being here in Memphis when he was the MVP of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and he went off in that game. But I didn't really know him, and so this year when he was with the Memphis Showboats, and I was doing the play-by-play for the Showboats, and so I would go out to practice, and it was just as you said, like, every person out there at practice, media, anybody else, when you're out there, Alex came up to you, said hello, asked you how you're doing, how's your day going? Like, and it wasn't just like, hey, and walk by. It was literally like you felt like he was really interested in how your day was going, and he wanted to have a conversation about it.
It's exactly who Alex Collins was. And I don't know. I watched the highlight of his touchdown pass in one of his games, Showboats. And, Memphis, you touched on the Liberty Bowl. Think about when that happened, after the 2015 season. Nowadays, a lot of kids in his position, or even back then, they might not have played in the bowl game. Yep. But he ran for 185 and helped them beat Kansas State in that game. And so I really miss him. The only time I really had a conversation with him, he came to a basketball game, and we were up in the bleachers a bit, and he came walking by, and I think my team's the Falcons. He was with the Seahawks, and I think we had beat them in the playoffs. And as he walked by, I said, "Hey, man, sorry what my Falcons had to do to y'all." And he just laughed it off, and he went off with his buddies. And I wish, I'm a lot older than him, but I wish I had been able to maintain a better relationship as he went through his professional career.
Yeah, I was so disappointed when he got hurt this year and he was done with the Showboats, and he left because he was trying to get back into the NFL. That was the whole purpose. And then he got injured, He had surgery, and he left him. Because I was like, just the interactions I got to have with him, I wanted to get more and get to know him more. The whole river dance thing, all of these things. Like, I wanted to have those in-depth conversations because he just was that guy, and I was so disappointed that he only was here for 3 games, and then he left and never got to have more conversations with him.
Great testimonial to just people wanting to be around him. And I would come home when he did the Irish river dancing stuff. I would come home and show my daughters videos because I liked the kid so much. And I had a daughter who was into Irish dancing, and so I would play those videos for him. So just a kid who's really going to be missed. And I mean, if there wasn't a guy named Darren McFadden who played here, Alex might be the most decorated, best running back Arkansas ever had.
Talking with Tom Murphy from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, WholeHogSports.com. And the added craziness on top of this is this run of tragedies that the Arkansas football program has had to deal with. Ryan Mallett, of course, the drowning death there. Now, Peyton Hillis almost drowned. Thankfully, he was able to recover. But then the recruit from Memphis, Deion Stutz, who's going to Arkansas, and he dies tragically in an ATV accident. I mean, what the Arkansas football program has had to go through with all of these different things is just crazy.
It has been a rough deal. There's been a few athletes tweeting about that. When is this going to stop? Because it's just before their time stuff. Chris Smith, former defensive end, kid out of North Carolina, who's in the NFL for a long time. He died this year. I think it was in April. Bryson Manor, I mean, he was 70, but, another decorated Razorback who's in their Sports Hall of Fame in the state, passed away as well. I mean, they had a kid, a signee from Clarendon, who was in a rollover car accident in May, and it was a bad-looking wreck, and he's hurt his neck. He might not be able to play football again, but he might. He's just not on the camp roster. So it's just been, one after the other, very prominent Razorbacks. And I talked to someone at the U of A yesterday. They are formulating some type of way to recognize, pay tribute to, the fallen athletes they've had in the recent months.
Yeah, it is just absolutely awful stuff. One thing about Collins, too, I'd forgotten until I think I was reading your story about it. I forgot he was the one on the 4th and 25 against Ole Miss that picked that ball up and ran for the first time. I'll never forget that play, but for some reason I didn't even that. I never even realized it was him, the one that picked it up and ran with it.
And so that's just a great thing to kind of cap what his legacy is here. That he's involved in probably the craziest play in Arkansas history, and they went on to win the game, which elevates it even more. But I mean, there's a few plays in Arkansas football history. Ken Hatfield had a punt return against Texas in the year they won the national championship in '64, and there's a few others. But that play right there, people will talk about for years because of just the low percentage of chance that it would have been converted. And so, Alex, hey, he's one of 4 running backs in the SEC history who've had 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. That's Herschel, Darren McFadden, Alex Collins, and Kevin Falk down at LSU. I mean, that's the only 4 who've done it 3 consecutive years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's crazy. Like outside of Arkansas, I think he's very underappreciated. I don't think people realize the career he put together when he was at Arkansas, how good those numbers truly were. As you mentioned, this year's team features a very good running back in Rocket Sanders. Also features a very good quarterback in KJ Jefferson. And I was mentioning this earlier. This Arkansas team's interesting to me because most of the time, if you have a team that has a preseason second-team all-conference selection at quarterback and a preseason first-team selection at running back, that's pretty darn good. You wouldn't think that team would be picked 5th in their division by those same people who voted them. This Arkansas, what do you think of this Arkansas team? Because I look at those 2 guys and say that's a pretty darn good start.
Well, it's a great start, but they're replacing almost their entire receiving core. I mean, they bring back 5 or 6 catches, tight end, and some, a couple of receivers. But the defense was just so porous last year, and they had a school record with 42 sacks, but they were worst in the FBS and passing yards allowed. So they've got to be better man coverage, and so they've brought in cornerbacks to help supplement Dwight McLaughlin, and their defensive line has been what is setting the tempo in this camp. So I feel like they're going to be able to pressure quarterbacks this year, and if they can cover under new defensive coordinator Travis Williams, then maybe they have a chance to drop those numbers a little bit, get off the field a little bit more, protect their DBs. Their safeties were not good cover guys last year, and then that adds up into the total package of keeping your offense on the field more and having more chances there. You look at all their losses, they struggled in the red zone, like in goal-to-goal situations against LSU, Missouri, They did against Mississippi State, against BYU, against Liberty. Like, they had short yardage things. At the Texas A&M game, K.J. Jefferson, for some reason, jumps on the 3-yard line with the ball extended, and they would have been up. I think they would have been up 21. They would have been up a amazing number, and instead A&M returns it for a touchdown. And so they have to get better in those, and those were deciding factors in a lot of what I would call swing games that would have really changed their fortunes in the SEC West. So if they can get on top of that, they might be a surprise contender in the West.
Yeah, that play against A&M, that was like, I remember watching that thinking, what in the world are you doing? And you just felt like they never recovered from that. Like, it was like, what? Everybody was like in shock of what just happened. And it's funny to think that a team with K.J. Jefferson would have troubles in short yardage, and with Rocket Sanders have trouble in short yardage. That should be their bread and butter.
Well, it should be, and boy, they really focused on it. And what it is, they probably will be better there this year. But you're in the SEC, you're in the SEC West, so people are going to exploit things. So there'll probably be another area where they need to have improvements this year. But KJ, they want to keep him healthier. So Sam Pittman even said this at SEC Media Days. Maybe he passes the ball more this year instead of him running it. And by the way, behind Rocket Sanders, they have a great running back room. A.J. Green, Rashad Dubinion, a kid from Georgia, and they brought in another kid, Isaiah Augustov, who they really like. So, and Dominic Johnson is coming back from knee problems. So they have a stacked running back room behind K.J. Jefferson, and should be a pretty stout running team, because the combo of Sam Pittman and Dan Enos in 2015 led to one. Alex Collins was on that team, was one of the best offensive teams they've had around here ever.
You mentioned that with K.J. Jefferson and trying to keep him healthy. But do you believe when kind of push comes to shove that they will run him less, or is it going to be, man, like, he's still pretty darn big and pretty darn good? Can they actually resist that temptation when you need a big yard or two?
Well, I think the RPO game is going to be there, and that means it's KJ's decision quite often whether he runs it or not. But I think the called runs, just the quarterback draws and stuff, maybe they reduce that by some small fraction. And also there's just going to be the plays that break down. I mean, he made highlight plays against Kansas in the bowl game, in the Liberty Bowl, and against BYU, in which he shook off 2-3 tacklers and ran for great yardage to get out of sack situations. So that's just going to be a part of his game. And just maybe he makes the conscious decision to hand to Sanders and the other backs a few more times in the RPO game.
That Liberty Bowl, by the way, was one of the weirdest games I think I've ever seen in my life. That was bizarre. But the other thing that I guess is the bad part of this is the way the schedule sets up with that stretch in the middle. There is no team in America that can face a tougher stretch than 4 straight games away from home against LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Alabama. I mean, that is, and then you follow that up with just Mississippi State. But that 4-game stretch away from home, man, oh man, you're just trying to survive that.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, and you're trying to create scenarios. They're not going to be favored. I don't think they'll be favored against A&M. They came out ranked. So they'll probably be an underdog in that game. And I mean, then Bama, Ole Miss. Well, it starts with LSU on the road. Yeah. So they will be favored in none of those 4. And if you can come out of that at 2-2, you're probably ecstatic. 1-3, maybe you can live with that. But that is the most rugged. Yeah, I would hazard a guess that's the most rugged stretch for any team in the country this year.
And then even with Mississippi State out of it, I mean, how much you're going to be beat up, and Mississippi State's coming off a bye week the week before, so they're going to be fresh and ready to go. That is just like, that's just unfortunate luck in the scheduling department to try and have to go through that stretch. And it makes you have to win the BYU game going into that stretch. You have to be 3-0 going into that stretch, and then you just hope you can, as you said, maybe steal at least 1. If you get 2, you're ecstatic, and then try and be healthy coming out of it.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I did not realize until you said it that Mississippi State's coming off a bye. So it's going to be a really, really challenging stretch, and they know that. And I also think they want to schedule like down the line where they can break up things like that. And because the neutral site game against A&M, it prevents them from having a home game. So I think when this contract is up after next year, that game will revert to campuses, and that you won't face the possibility of having a bad stretch like that.
Yeah, that's. And I was wondering. So there's only 1 year left on that deal.
I think that's right. It's been a while since I've written on it, but I think A&M would be the home team in 24. I mean, they had to push it off a couple of years. Then the COVID thing moved it to A&M's campus, and so I don't know. I do believe it's after next year that it's over.
But can they tell Jerry they're not going to have it in his place?
I mean, A&M has been pretty overt about wanting to move that game back to campus. So at least half the folks already are like, no, this contract is going to end. And I think when you look at a schedule like this year for Arkansas, it's just a common sense type thing that, and that game's been good. It's had a good long run. Aggies have dominated since they joined the SEC down there with only one win for Arkansas. So I think getting it back to campus is going to make sense for the Razorbacks as well.
Tom Murphy from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette is our guest. All right, so kind of floor ceiling record-wise, how do you kind of see this, and where do they fit in the West in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at defending champions LSU and Alabama as, probably the two favorites. And then, Auburn's got a new coach, so they'll be improved, you'd think. A&M's got a lot of hype going on, and they will be better offensively with Bobby Petrino. We know that around here.
Yeah.
And so those are the two teams that finished behind Arkansas, last year. Ole Miss, they still have a lot of weapons on offense. Where are you going to slot them? I mean, Arkansas has beaten them 2 of the last 3 years. They've been at home. So it's hard to say. I think 8-4 would be a really good end result for Arkansas. 7-5 might be more realistic, and there's a chance, if they get dinged up, if the defense isn't all they think it could be, that they struggle. And so that's why opening 3-0 is just super, super imperative for them.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He is Tom Murphy from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, WholeHogSports.com as well. Tom, thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, there's so much, all that negative stuff with the Alex Collins and everything else that's going on around this Arkansas program. I know they're going to be happy to get out on the field and start playing football again, and hopefully no more bad news around that program in the near future. Appreciate your time this morning.
I hear you. I would be remiss if I didn't say hello to my man, Harold Rader. With the Liberty Bowl. We hung out some in Nashville at Media Day. What a great guy. Fun to be around.
Harold will be here tomorrow on the program, as a matter of fact. He is a great guy, no doubt about that. Tom, thank you so much.
You bet. See you.
Tom Murphy joining us from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. I didn't even know that he threw in a couple of other guys who have passed away, and including another recruit who had an accident that may not be able to play. And that is just an insane stretch that program has gone through, but and it's an insane stretch in their schedule. That's unfortunate for Arkansas. I don't know that there's any team in the country who certainly could go 4-0 through that type of stretch. I mean, I don't know if you took Ohio State and gave them those 4 games all away from home in a row. I don't know if they're going 4-0. Michigan, and that is just brutal. At LSU, A&M at a neutral, at Ole Miss, and at Alabama. I don't know that any team in the country could go 4-0 in that. So if you go 2-2, if you're Arkansas, you go 2-2, you're doing backflips. That would be incredible if they could go 2-2 in that stretch. That's just and then again, you get Mississippi State coming out of it. They're coming off a bye, and you're coming off that stretch. And Arkansas, not only coming off that stretch, but I think will have played every week of the season to that point. Let me look that up. I believe they will have not had their bye week comes the next week. So they'll have played 7 straight weeks, including 4 on the road against LSU, A&M, Ole Miss, and Alabama. 4 ranked teams, including 2 top 5 teams. And then you get Mississippi State coming off of a bye. Man, oh man, that's just not fair. Fleet Feet is the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes that are just right for you? Well, go see the folks at Fleet Feet. can see them in the Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis. You can also find them in Collierville. Out there, they're at Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to the Hueys. You go in, they take a look at the way you run, the way you walk, and they fit you with shoes that are just right for you. Plus, any other gear that you need, well, they've got that. Hey, it won't be long. The way this year's moving along, again, we're already mid-August. The marathon, St. Jude Marathon will be coming up. There'll be a bunch of people running in that. Half marathon, whatever it is, you might be getting into training mode. Make sure you got those shoes and all the gear that you need, and Fleet Feet is the place to do it. Again, Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis, out at Collierville, Poplar, and Houston Levy, next to Huey's. Online, fleetfeetmemphis.com. You can get involved in their group runs and other things they've got going on. You can always go to their social media or their website to find out what they've got going on at Fleet Feet. When we come back, ESPN has ranked the top 100 players in college football this year. How many do you think are from the SEC? We'll tell you when we come back. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
They're taking care of business in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
WeatherGuard, the name that stands for unmatched security in truck boxes, is now making a name for itself on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series circuit. WeatherGuard is the official sponsor of the safety and security work crews at Speedway Motorsports tracks across the country. Engineered to meet the demands from job sites to race sites, WeatherGuard truck boxes feature double welded seams, weather-tight seals, and high-security latches and locks. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Learn more at weatherguard.com/truck.
Hotsy Pressure Washers and Detail Supplies of Memphis takes it all off. They are the #1 cleaning and equipment provider, period. Big or small, Hotsy has the solution. From hot water and cold water pressure washers to industrial soaps and detail supplies, Hotsy has you covered. For our Sports 56 fans, you get 20% off all detail products, so don't miss out on this amazing deal. Call Hotsy today, 901-379-0550, or visit their showroom, conveniently located at Austin P and I-40.
Hi, this is Troy Fivesh, owner of Fivesh Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Whatever vehicle needs you may be wishing for, we've got you covered at Gossett Mitsubishi. 41 MPG Highway that can turn on a dime, that's 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $17,395 or $249 a month. 2024 Eclipse Cross combines luxurious styling with cutting-edge technology, generous cargo room, and versatility, $29,100 or $399 a month. And the powerful and fun-to-drive 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander, $29,580
$450 or $499 a month. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, G4 PH 006839, MSRP 17895, Cross RZ 00688, MSRP 29850, Outlander PZO 59809, MSRP 30080, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Working a couple of new accidents on the roadways. I-40 West at Sycamore View, the left shoulder is blocked. Accident on Patterson at Walker, dealing with a pedestrian incident there. I-240 East at Poplar, the left shoulder is blocked there. And then we still working an accident on Highway 64 at Houston Levee, Canada Road. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. No Greg today. He'll be back next week. Again, coming up in our next hour, DeMichael Cole on the Grizzlies. If you missed it earlier, we talked about the schedule for the Grizzlies as far as the in-season tournament is concerned. They did release that. We know those dates. We know those times. We know those matchups exactly of what the order is. We already knew who the 4 teams they would play would be, but now we got the dates and times as far as that is concerned. Of course, Jaren Jackson Jr. getting ready for the World Cup. And I think that's getting away next weekend. I believe not this weekend, but I think the next weekend, I think, is their first action as far as the actual games are concerned in the World Cup. We also have our 5 favorite things in our final hour. Your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection, a Memphis tie. And Tennessee Tom, if you're listening, I don't know if you tried to send in a list. I didn't get the list. All I got was 5 movies with Memphis ties. I got nothing else. So I don't know if you tried to send that list, if there's supposed to be some more to that, or if you're still working on it. Texter here, Arkansas fan texts in, says, as a Hog fan, please have Tom on as much as possible. Talking about Tom Murphy. Well, we hope to do that. Tom's great. Great having him on. Does an outstanding job covering that program. I believe that's the first time we've ever had him on the show, but certainly hope to have him on more often as well to talk about the Arkansas Razorbacks. Well, ESPN has come out with a ranking of the top 100 players in college football for this season. No surprise at the top, Caleb Williams, who is coming off a Heisman Trophy winning season, is number 1. Number 2 on the list, go to the Georgia Bulldogs, and it is tight end Brock Bowers. Think about that. A tight end rated as the number 2 player in all of college football. I have to believe I wonder what the highest they've ever rated a tight end in this before was. But a tight end, number 2 in their list of the best players in college football this season. Marvin Harrison Jr. is at number 3, the unbelievable receiver out of Ohio State, who had a great year last year. Then you've got the freak linebacker, Harold Perkins Jr. from LSU at number 4. We get our second quarterback at number 5. That's Drake May from North Carolina. Then another one, Michael Penix Jr. from Washington at number 6. Blake Corum, the running back from Michigan, number 7. Jordan Travis, the quarterback from Florida State, at number 8. And then another Seminole, Jared Verse, that dude who I still can't believe he passed up the NFL and came back, but lucky for Mike Norvell and company down there, he did. Jared Verse, the defensive lineman, is number 9 on their list. Then Michael Williams, the defensive end edge rusher out of Georgia, just a sophomore, ranked as the number 10 player in college football this season. Going down the list a little bit, Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama is at number 12. Bo Nix. Who would have thought a few years ago that here in 2023, Bo Nix ranked as the 14th best player in college football going into the season, just ahead of Jaden Daniels, the quarterback from LSU. Rocket Sanders, we just talked about him with Arkansas, the outstanding running back. They rank him at number 18 on their list of the top 100 players in college football this year. For Ole Miss, another running back, Quinshon Judkins, the sophomore there who had the record-setting freshman year in Oxford, number 22. Going into last year, I don't think anybody could have possibly foreseen a situation where going into his sophomore year, Quinshon Judkins would be ranked as the 22nd best player in college football. What a year he had last year. Sam Hartman, the Notre Dame quarterback, the transfer from Wake Forest, number 25 on their list. I mentioned KJ Jefferson, talking again about Arkansas. He's number 30. So again, according to this, Arkansas has 2 of the top 30 players in college football on the offensive side of the ball. They're picked 5th in the SEC West, to tell you just how difficult that is. Frank Harris, the quarterback for Texas San Antonio, who, of course, joins the American Athletic Conference this year. He is at number 32. You've got Will Rogers, Mississippi State senior quarterback. He is at number 36 on the list. Going down the list a little bit more. Jalen Daniels, the quarterback out of Kansas, 44. How about Kansas having a guy in the top 50 players in all of college football, according to ESPN's rankings? You know what's crazy is Dallin Hayden, of course, at Ohio State, who had the one big game last year. It's amazing, that running back room. Because Dallin Hayden's really, really good, and he's going to be really good at the college level. But Ohio State has 2 running backs, Trevion Henderson and Mayan Williams, both in the top 50 players in this ranking. It's just brutal to try and get on the field as a running back at Ohio State. Let's see if there's any other real local ones. There's another Florida State guy, wide receiver. Florida State has, I believe, 6 guys on this list of the top 100. So, again, it is a much improved roster that Mike Norvell has put together, and they've got a chance. They absolutely have a chance to be in the playoffs this season. I think 100%.
I saw the video of, I guess it was Florida State's first padded practice, and like all the players, they're walking out of the locker room to the field, and obviously enough, Jared Verse was in the video. Was talking to everybody.
He likes to talk. Dude, that dude, he can talk and he can back it up. That dude is a beast. I still don't understand how he was at Albany. Like, I don't understand how you go from ending up at Albany to being, again, one of the 10 best, according to ESPN, one of the 10 best players in all of college football now a couple of years later. Talk about missing they did an unbelievable job of developing him at Albany, apparently. That's one of the weirdest things. Joe Milton, number 76 on the list. LSU's got a lot of guys on this list where they are. That's it's again a loaded roster. Obviously, Alabama and Georgia, full of guys on this list. Spencer Rattler. How about that? Spencer Rattler, 93.
I was gonna
rewind a few years and tell me how you would have Bo Nix up there. What did I say? Nix was at done top 15 or whatever, and Spencer Rattler at 93.
I was gonna say, man, that name is a blast from the past a little bit.
Go back a couple years thinking Joe Milton ranked higher than Spencer Rattler as far as this goes. That's crazy. Overall, the SEC, Michael Pratt, by the way, out of Tulane, comes in at 99, their quarterback. And Frank Gore Jr. from Southern Miss comes in, rounding out the list at number 100. The SEC, I did a quick glance down this. And so I may have missed one or so. But if I counted correctly, the SEC has 22 of the top 100, which I actually... To me, that's a little lower than I would have guessed.
I was going to say that too. That sounds a little low.
Because when you look at what the NFL draft is every year and how the SEC dominates that, you just look at college football and how they dominate it. I would have thought Georgia and Alabama probably would come, and LSU. I would say if you would have just said, give me Georgia, Alabama, And LSU's numbers, I would have guessed probably 20. Just those three teams I would have thought would have 20. Then you throw in the other guys, the two Arkansas guys. You throw in A&M, which A&M really doesn't have hardly anybody on the list. Obviously Tennessee, a couple of South Carolina guys. Like I would have thought the SEC would have been 30 minimum if you just asked me before I count. And that's why I was like, maybe I missed a few. I wasn't willing to go back. I was like, that just feels like a really low number. Because Florida State has 6. Ohio State has 6. I didn't count Michigan. Ohio State and Michigan probably combined for around 11 or 12, just between those two. And again, the SEC to only be at 22 was a little surprising to me. I would have guessed 30 because I would have said LSU. If you'd had LSU, Alabama, and Georgia alone, I would have thought would have gotten you to 20. But that is the top 100 players, according to ESPN, going into this season of college football. We'd take a break, come back. We got some baseball to get into. Mentioned earlier, some really bad news again for the Tampa Bay Rays, as they are just, it's a rough go after their amazing start this year. There's not been a whole lot of good. Yankees continue to struggle. My Cubs took a bad loss last. I can't lose to the White Sox. You can't lose to the White Sox. Dang it. They're terrible. They're a mess. Plus, it just hurts when you lose to the White Sox. I just hate losing to the White Sox. Got to win today. Got to win today, Cubs. If you're going to get into the playoffs, you got to beat these bad teams. You got to stretch here against bad teams. You got to beat them. Take advantage of this opportunity. You got 11 more opportunities against terrible teams starting today with the White Sox. We'll get into a little baseball. Hour number 3 to Michael Cole and 5 favorite things. This is Sports 56 Mornings here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Purchase a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Conway Services today and get up to $1,750 back plus a free Nest thermostat when Conway Services buys back your old, inefficient HVAC system. Guaranteed service and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Conway Services today.
Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. You know, folks enjoyed themselves at the Elvis Vigil. And today, the anniversary of the death of Elvis. Happened August 16th, 1977. Yesterday, we had a beautiful day. We've got another one on tap today. Lots of sunshine and a high of just 81 is what they're forecasting right now. Again, if you can get outside and if you have anything you need to do outside, do it today. Take advantage of this. If you don't have anything you need to do, try and get out, play some golf, do something. You need to take advantage of this. Tonight's low in the mid 60s. And again, it's going to warm up as we go day by day here. But there right now is not any rain in the forecast for like 4 or 5 days at least. And it's going to progressively get warmer day by day, basically. It'll be back up into the mid 90s. It's going to be back to getting hot by the end of the weekend. But looks like we're going to have a nice day on Friday, as it will be the start of the high school football season. It's crazy to me. I was over at Christian Brothers High School yesterday doing some things over there, getting ready for the season, and it blows my mind that high school football is here already. The fact that we're in mid-August just doesn't. I don't know where the time has gone. I mean, like I say this every year though, but it just absolutely flies by.
But it has picked up though. I have been noticing that the last week or so.
It's weird. Like I swear to God, I thought like last week it was May, and now it's August, and I feel like literally the showboat season wrapped up like a week ago, and somehow high school football is starting this week. I don't know. It all just blends together. Tomorrow on the program, by the way, speaking of that, we will have the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Inside College Football, our first AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football hour of the season. It's here. Harold Grader will be here in studio tomorrow talking college football because next week, again, is week 0, and we are off and running. It's all here upon us. Football season is with the high schools starting off this week. Then you got the college, and then the NFL, and here we go. I did not get a chance yet to watch the second episode of Hard Knocks. You didn't watch that by chance last night, did you?
No.
Okay.
But I think somebody just threw out some Spark Notes version of what happened.
I'm assuming, I guess the Dalvin Cook signing wouldn't make it till next week's, I don't think. Because it would have been too late for this one. But, I saw some things. I guess Robert Saleh was going off on the offensive line in it.
Yeah.
Did you watch the first one? Did you watch last week's?
No.
Okay. His opening monologue about the eagle and the crow was one of the weirdest things. If it's all true, I learned something, and I assume it's true, but I had no idea that the crow was the only bird that would attack an eagle. Nonetheless, baseball, Major League Baseball. Talked earlier, Yankees fell to 500 last night. First time this late in the year, 120 games into the season, they are 60-60. First time this late in a season that they have been at the 500 mark since 1995, which is a remarkable statistic. Although it is not remarkable for this year's team. And it will probably lead to Aaron Boone being out and could very well lead to Brian Cashman being out. We could see a complete house cleaning for the New York Yankees because at this point, it does not appear as though the New York Yankees will be a part of any postseason festivities in Major League Baseball, as it has just been a struggle, especially here recently. Their offense just, for whatever reason, could not get anything going. They sit in last place, 14 games behind the Orioles. 14 games behind the Baltimore Orioles, who the Baltimore Orioles now have a playoff probability of 98.4%. And the team chasing them is the Tampa Bay Rays in the division. Tampa Bay, it became official. They have announced Shane McClanahan, their outstanding pitcher, will have Tommy John surgery. It was thought that he was probably going to at least miss the rest of this year for sure. They didn't know for sure if Tommy John was going to be the solution. It is going to be Tommy John surgery, so not only will he miss the rest of this year, he will miss, in all likelihood, all of next year as well. They also, Manny Margot, outfielder, he's having a surgery to have some bone chips removed from his elbow. He's going to be out a month. And, of course, you have this weird Wander Franco story going on where he is on the restricted list as there is an investigation into his relationship apparently with an underage girl.
Oh.
It was because the first thing that came out was like they're investigating a social media post.
Right.
And I was like, well, is it like his social media post? Or and if it is, like, why don't we know what it is? Like, everybody just kept saying a social media post, but nobody posted the actual social media. I'm like, well, if it's his post, why don't we see like a screenshot of it and know what we're talking about? Did he like say something like racist? I don't know what that's going on. But apparently, I guess the social media post was from somebody else talking about this relationship that Wander Franco may or may not have, apparently with an underage girl. So he is on the restricted list right now. And we don't know when he's going to be back. Beyond McClanahan, they've got like 3 other pitchers that are out. So the Rays, after their great start, 30-9, were the talk of the town. It is a just disaster right now. And they're going to make the playoffs in all likelihood. Again, they're 3 games behind Baltimore. I don't see them catching Baltimore. It looks like Baltimore will win the AL East. But in the wild card, they have a fairly healthy lead, and not a guarantee that they'll hold on and make a wild card. But you would think that Tampa Bay makes a wild card. But unless they get some of these guys back and get things straightened out, again, McClanahan definitely going to be back. A couple of the other pitchers are the 60-day DL. I don't think they're going to be back right now. Tampa Bay leads the AL wild card. Houston is second in that, and then Toronto is the third. And then you've got Seattle 2 back of Toronto, Boston 3 back. The Yankees are 6.5 back when it comes to the wild card. And the Angels, who elected to hold on to Shohei, they are 8 games back in the wild card and look to have 0 chance at making it into the postseason. And then they will probably lose Shohei Ohtani, and that is unfortunate. Meanwhile, in the National League, my Cubs lost last night. They're now 3.5 behind Milwaukee, and they're tied with the Reds at 3.5 back. The Cubs are playing this stretch. They play the White Sox, Royals, Tigers, and Pirates over the next 11 games, which are literally 4 of the worst teams in all of baseball, including the last 3 teams. The worst division in baseball is the AL Central. They play the 3 last teams in that division. They avoid in this stretch in the Tigers, White Sox, and Royals. And then coming out of that, they will play the Brewers and they will play the Reds. So a lot will be decided over the next few weeks as far as my Cubbies are concerned. But they started it off with a terrible loss last night to the White Sox. The Braves now have a 12.5 game lead in the AL East. The Dodgers have a 9-game lead in the NL West. I might have said AL East for Atlanta, NL East. So those 2 divisions are wrapped up. And it's no surprise. We knew those 2 teams were really, really good. And they both have sizable leads. In the NL wild card, it is the Phillies with a 2.5 game lead. The Giants holding on to the second wild card, a 1.5 game up on Miami, who currently holds the 3rd wild card spot, with the Cubs and the Reds 1 game back of the Marlins for that wild card. The Marlins holding on to that spot in the postseason right now, despite a minus 37 run differential on the year. But right now, they would be in the postseason if it started today. Black tie moving. Moving can be a stressful time. and it's not easy. So many things you're doing. Got some folks moving in next door to me right now, and I know it's brutal. Trying to get everything straight, figure everything out. But you want to make sure you get professionals. Get professionals on your side. And if you're going to do that, get the best professionals. Get Black Tie Moving. Give them a call, 901-316-6196. Go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with them. They work with you. They come up with a plan along with you, fitting both your needs and fitting your budget. And you will get a no-obligation quote up front so you know exactly what it's going to cost. Don't try and ask your friends to help you move. They don't want to do it. They don't care about your stuff. Black Tie going to take great care of your stuff, make sure it all gets where it's going without any issues. So again, give them a call, 901-316-6196, or go to the website blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Get the professionals on your side. If you are moving, whether it's your home or office, across town or across country, talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving. Hour number 3 coming up. We kick it off with DeMichael Cole. Then it's 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection. You can get those lists in on the Sports 56 listener line at 901-360-8255, or you can send them via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Wherever you are watching us or listening to us, you can get those lists in for 5 favorite things coming up. Following DeMichael Cole, who kicks off hour number 3 right after this, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine. People are loving this amazing new store. It's more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. I'm telling you, the selection at Genesis is mind-blowing. One of the largest selections of certified diamonds in the United States. From a half carat to 20 carats, rounds, princess cuts, ovals, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, both natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, all at prices guaranteed anywhere in America. Plus, Genesis has brought a new level of quality to Memphis with exquisite handcrafted designer jewelry you won't find anywhere else. They've got over 1,000 designer engagement rings. It's mind-blowing when you walk in. Rings, bands, earrings, pendants, bracelets, case after case of unique, one-of-a-kind jewelry. Up to 30 times what you find at ordinary stores. Discover Genesis Diamonds, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open in Poplar Commons at Poplar & Perkins Extended, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
You want the hottest summer deals in the Mid-South? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 41 MPG Highway, we got it in 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing. Get SUV action in 2023 Nero EV Wind. 253 miles of EPA estimated range. $292 a month, $49.99 due at signing. Or 2023 Kia EV6 Wind with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE. Only $425 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P 501,5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P 560,3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only warranties. A limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5S Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5S Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I have got an idea for a movie tie-in for Central Barbecue.
I don't like where this is going.
The Central Barbecue Oppenheimer Special. It's an explosion of flavor.
No.
So, Central Barbecue's ribs are the bomb?
No. Plus, Central Barbecue doesn't need that kind of promotion. Central Barbecue's food is the promotion.
Central Barbecue's hot sauce is
I'm telling you, Central Barbecue has always sold itself because you can't get better barbecue anywhere.
So, it's the Oppenheimer thing. All right, well, how about you can't spell barbecue without Barbie?
But you can.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
Sports 56 traffic.
A lot of accidents are popping up. New accident on Highway 64 at New Brunswick Road. Also, still working an accident on Highway 64 at Houston Levee and Canada Road. Still working an accident on Patterson at Walker involving a pedestrian. New accident on Highway 385 West at I-240. The on-ramp shoulder is blocked. And then accident on Holmes Road at Forest Hill Irene. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Power is everything.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. 9:02 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd with you. No Greg Gaston today. Greg will return next week here on the program. Another beautiful day here in the Mid-South, so get out and enjoy that. As highs once again will only be in the low 80s. We come to you live from the Family Leisure Studios. That's where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And again, this hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Time now to talk some Grizz with Michael Cole.
2 watches, that's 12. Come through and slam on you. I'm in the air.
It's time to talk some Grizzlies basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Here's DeMichael with Greg and Eli.
He joins us each and every week here on the program. He is DeMichael Cole. What's up, DeMichael?
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Doing fantastic. So we got now the official schedule for the in-season tournament for group play for the Grizzlies, and we know that they will play Portland on the road, Lakers on the road, and Utah and Phoenix at home in their pool play games. We knew the 4 teams they were going to play. Now we know when they'll play them and who will be home, who will be road. I don't know if we've actually, I guess we probably have, but what are your thoughts on the in-season tournament? Do you like this, not like it? Do you want to wait and see how it kind of plays out?
Yeah, so Eli, at first, I wasn't really a fan of the whole idea, just because I think when we think about the NBA, it's been what it has been for so long. You introduce this change, and it's like, season isn't really broke, right? The NBA season is what it is. So why are we trying to fix something that really isn't broke? But then, when you look a little bit deeper into it, I think a lot of people are probably a little bit slow to the idea right now, but I've, since I've learned more about it, kind of like the certain different aspects that it brings. So, for example, you think about the tiebreaker, right? So we know that 3 teams from each side will automatically advance. The group winners, so Group A, Group B, Group C winners from the Grizzlies group, you mentioned the teams. Only one team out of that group automatically advances, the team that wins that group. Then there will be one additional Eastern and Western Conference team that advances, but once you figure that a lot of those teams are probably going to have tied records and be in different divisions or different groups, they're using point differential as the second tiebreaker outside of head-to-head. So teams like the Kings, the Warriors, the Timberwolves, the Mavs that are in different groups than the Grizzlies, if they're tied with the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies are in second place in their group, point differential is going to be a difference. Point differential doesn't come up in basketball like that. This is pretty much a European soccer thing.
So I'm thinking now, like, oh, when teams are up 30 points, are they going to keep their starters in and keep raining three-pointers to add on some additional points? Or will we go into certain games knowing, hey, the Grizzlies not only have to beat the Jazz, but they have to beat the Jazz by 14 points to clinch a berth? Like, it adds a little bit of a flavor to it. And here's the other thing. One more thing that I really like is I was worried about how it would impact, like, the end of the regular season. You're going to have teams playing 84 games, and there's going to be one team that plays 82 games. And how does that matter? Well, it sounds like basically what the NBA will do is the 8 teams that will advance to the knockout stage. And if you don't advance to the knockout stage, you'll see once the NBA schedule comes out on Thursday. The schedule comes out on Thursday. But once the NBA schedule comes out, what they're going to do is they're basically going to leave 2 open dates for teams. And those 2 open dates will be for the teams who don't advance to the knockout round, December 6th and December 8th. They'll fill in games with other teams that didn't advance. So at the end of the day, all the teams will still play the same amount of games. It just adds extra incentive, extra flavor to the season. And it's early enough in the season where I think if teams want to go for it, if you say, hey, I want to play my stars 42, 43 minutes, it's early enough in the season where they'll get plenty of rest over the course of a year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And people, nobody likes change, so there will be people freaking out and like, what is going on? I don't understand what's going on here. But to me, it's such a minor part now. And again, it is. These games are still counting as regular season games, other than the one championship game, because those two teams will play 83, so it won't count. The only thing that is weird to me about it, and this is. I don't care about it nearly as much as some of these teams will do, is that because of the way it works out, there is a chance, and it in all likelihood will happen, there will be a couple of teams at least that don't get a 41st home game. And that's all. If you lose the revenue of a 41st home game, there will be some people that will be upset about that.
Yeah, right. and it's a small. I think it's a small little thing in it at the end of the day with me, because this time period with this whole in-season tournament, like I like the incentive of the $500,000, right? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much for John Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams, but it matters a lot for Xavier Tillman Sr., who just picked up an option for less than $2 million, or the rookies and things like that. So I feel like in a way, this is one of those moments where you're playing for your teammates, because people are wondering, like, oh, are the players going to take this serious? What are the how are the coaches going to take it? And I think that's a good question, because I can't wait till we talk to Taylor Jenkins and learn, is he going to shorten his rotation up for this like he does for the playoffs, or like, how will they approach that? And I think about those teams like the Suns and the Warriors, who have like 3 or 4 guys taking up most of the salary cap. So the rest of their guys are pretty much minimum guys. And those minimum guys, $500,000 is a big pool. I'm thinking about the Suns, who are in the Grizzlies group. Eric Gordon, you got Eric Gordon to sign a minimum deal. He probably would have got more than that somewhere else. So I feel like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and those guys, if I'm Eric Gordon, I'm saying, hey, man, look, I signed this deal to play with y'all. Y'all better give me this extra $500,000. Like,
absolutely.
Like, I think there's some incentive there, but getting to your original point with the home games, I mean, I feel like, it's no perfect strategy. Like, at the end of the day, you're gonna lose something in this thing, but I like the idea of it so far. Like you said earlier, change. I wasn't really understanding the idea of the in-season tournament at first. But since it happened so early in the season, it's November and the first week of December, so it's early enough in the season where you can ramp up minutes, you can do whatever you want, and I mean, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll add some flavor to what some people will say is probably the most boring part of the NBA season.
I mentioned earlier that the Grizzlies in their group play. The games, the only one that's on any sort of national TV is the game against Phoenix on NBA TV, and it's an early game here. It's a 4:00 game on Black Friday. I said, I wonder why the Grizzlies aren't getting these national television games early in the year. Do you have any idea why that might be? That maybe like the first 25 games they won't be on national TV as much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the first 25 games will be a start. But last year, check this out, Grizzlies had 18 games on national TV that didn't include NBA TV. So I'm talking ESPN, ABC, and TNT games. 18 games. It was a franchise record. It was more than double the previous 2 seasons. So this will be an interesting year. Like we'll see what the league thinks of the Grizzlies, and we already got the NBA TV. We already got Christmas, where 5 Western Conference teams. Remember that 5 Western Conference teams are playing on Christmas, and the team that is the number 2 seed the last 2 years they get selected. So the Grizzlies are getting it hard right now, and the first 25 games I think is very understandable. With the situation with Ja and whatnot. But after that, I mean,
they'll be on national TV.
Yeah, I think it'll be real interesting. This Grizzlies schedule that'll come out tomorrow, it's going to be more interesting than your typical schedule, and it's all because of the Ja Morant situation.
It's
first 25 games, right? I can't wait to see. Is it going to be loaded with games against the Magic, 2 games against the Magic, 2 games against the Hornets, 2 games against the Spurs, or 3 games against the Spurs, or whatever the case may be, or is it going to be 3 games against the Suns in your first 25 games, or 2 games against the Warriors in your first 25 games, and 2 games against the Lakers? And I can't wait to see how that plays out. And then once we get past that 25 game mark, the mark on Ja Morant. And here's the other thing, Eli, as well. The Grizzlies played their 25th game last season on December 7th.
Mm-hmm.
December 7th this year would be the semifinal of the in-season tournament. So I want to see, we'll see when the schedule comes out, where the 25th game will line up. But I want to see if there's a chance we could see, like, if the Grizzlies were to advance out of the group stage, maybe is it possible for Ja Morant to return for the quarterfinals of the in-season tournament? Like, that'd be a nice little storyline.
The thing is this, people used to complain about how the Grizzlies didn't get respect and they were never on national TV and all of this stuff. It's just a bottom line thing. They put superstars on there. That's what they do.
It's that simple, right?
They get a superstar, they're on national TV a bunch. That's just the way it is. And in this schedule, you're not going to see them on national TV early. You'll see them on national TV late. They want the superstars on national TV.
Exactly. And we saw that with Ja, right? You remember towards the end of the season before this past season, when I think it was 2021, the Grizzlies got the All Access, right? First time that a team has gotten All Access, 2022, I'm sorry, March 2022, when the Grizzlies got All Access. I think it's the first time that's happened in 3 or 4 years. And ESPN went All Access with the Grizzlies. They were expecting Ja to play. Remember? Then it came out that Ja wouldn't play in that game. And it was like, it's kind of like a big bummer. But I remember talking to people at ESPN, and they just straight up said it. Ja Morant is a huge draw. He ranks in the top 10 in jersey sales, social media interaction. He's right there below LeBron James and Steph Curry. Like, he is a huge draw. And the Grizzlies have that. So as long as he's playing, they're going to be in that conversation. And that's why, kind of to curtail the conversation in a little bit of a different direction, that's why I think this summer is kind of big for Jaren Jackson Jr. because he's on that Olympic stage. And I watch on X now, as it's called. You watch the casual viewers that don't get to see Jaren Jackson Jr. that much and how they make these, announcements because they don't get to see him that much. Whether it's like, oh, wow, Jaren's defense is really as advertised, or it's like, I saw someone make a joke like, I just turned the TV on and Jaren Jackson Jr. just picked up a foul and things like this. But, people are starting to see his game more. And I think that when you get on that Team USA stage, it kind of puts you in the spotlight more. So maybe he becomes that second star. But right now, Ja Morant is the draw.
No doubt about it. And I do want to talk about Jaren in a second. I'm talking about DeMichael Cole. He joins us each and every Wednesday talking Grizzlies. Of course, he covers the Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal. You can follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC. You mentioned the Christmas Day thing. I still feel like it's almost like we just don't, because of the Ja situation, it's almost like it's a little bit extra punishment, and they don't want that Christmas Day to have a game where there's this storyline about him in the off season and all that stuff. I think for 1 year they were, because I firmly believe the Grizzlies will be back on Christmas Day as long as everything's good for next year and they know Ja's playing all this. I feel like this was just kind of like, we don't want that storyline on Christmas Day.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of, part of the thinking, maybe because, right now, as we said with the date, December 7th was when they played the 25th game last year. So if we use that framework, that timeline, it looks like Ja will be back early December, probably December 9th, December 10th, somewhere around that range. Then 2 weeks later, playing on Christmas. But that's why I want to see the schedule, because I think that idea that we just threw out there, that's eliminated if the Grizzlies are playing, let's say they got a national TV game on December 22nd or December 14th or December 16th. Because I could see, come on now, at the end of the day, it's all about the money. I could see the league saying, man, December 10th, perfect time to put the Grizzlies on ESPN against the Lakers, Ja Morant's return game. I can see it. It makes too much sense to me, honestly. When you get around that 26th, 27th game, put the Grizzlies on national TV. It's going to be probably one of their most watched games of the season. Ja Morant's return. Either the Grizzlies will be struggling without him and people say, thank goodness he's back, or they'll be playing well. And they say, man, if they were playing this well without Ja, imagine how well they're going to play now. So it's going to be a big storyline regardless. But I think with Christmas, yes, it makes sense to kind of bury that storyline. But guess what? I feel like before Christmas, they'll sneak a national game or two in there and try to really, monetize that situation, I guess you can say.
Or if you want to make it even spicier, just have it in Denver.
Ooh. Oh, boy.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to go there.
I'm just saying.
We don't want to go there. We don't need any of that. We do not need that type of stuff.
If they want to make money, why don't you just take it back to the scene of when it happened?
No, we're going to avoid that if at all possible. He's not allowed back in old Shotgun Willie's, I hope.
Who said that?
You mentioned Jaren Jackson Jr., Team USA. They will start pool play a week from Saturday. They'll play New Zealand, they'll play Greece, and they'll play Jordan. And that is not Michael Jordan in pool play in the Philippines. You mentioned it. I think it's great that Jaren continues to get this attention. I think it's great for his game to go just kind of confidence-wise to go again into the camp and play against these guys every single day and show that he can be like that dominant player on that stage. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he plays. And I think you're right that this is an opportunity for him to really kind of put himself out there on the world stage as like one of those guys in the league.
Yeah, we saw the Team USA teammates say he was the most impressive player out in camp. Well, guess what? Now we need him to show it, not just in these games, like you said, against Jordan, against Greece without Giannis, who isn't playing for Greece, in the World Cup. I want to see it when we get to the tournament and you got, Lithuania staring you down, or you got Argentina staring you down, or you got, Spain in that environment, when they're playing for something, when the main guys are playing more minutes. I want to see it then. Jaren with Team USA is playing the 5 exclusively. To me, it's like a tease of the future,
yeah.
When eventually he makes that move over. But it's also, I think there's a lot of things that the Grizzlies can kind of take from this, watching how to use him. We haven't seen Jaren Jackson Jr. roll to the basket as much as Team USA is making him do that. I think he had a pick and roll with Jalen Brunson a couple games ago, and he like rolls to the rim, catches the ball, does a quick spin move, and lays it up. Like we don't see a lot of that. We see Jaren facing up off the dribble, or we see him pick and popping. Or we see him attack mismatches. He'll post up, he gets his mismatch, and go to work from that standpoint. But this is showing us more in Jaren's game, and there's a chance to elevate his game, not just from the standpoint of on the floor, but as me and you just talked about, off the floor. Playing with Team USA, guess what? You got Jalen Brunson on the team, so you're going to have a lot of New York Knicks fans tuned in. You're going to have a lot of Timberwolves fans tuned in because of Anthony Edwards. You're going to have a lot of Brooklyn Nets fans tuned in because of Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. You're going to have a lot of Pelicans fans tuned in because of Brandon Ingram and so forth. The list goes on, like Jazz fans, Walker Kessler, etc. you're gonna have all these fans from different NBA fan bases tuned in, and they'll get to see Jaren Jackson Jr. For at least a 10-game stretch, as much as we do. So I think from a popularity standpoint, this is one of those things that can really help you in your career.
Maybe when he racks up a bunch of blocks in this, those people will realize it's not the statisticians in Memphis. It's just he actually block shots.
This will wake them up.
One other thing I did want to ask you about, we just saw, of course, Pau Gasol go into the Hall of Fame, inducted over the weekend with a great class. I don't know if you have asked anybody or talked to anybody. Do you know of any plan right now the Grizzlies have for retiring Pau Gasol's jersey, or will we see any jersey retired this season?
It's hard to say if it'll be this season, but as far as Pau goes, I haven't heard much on that end. I think right now the focus is still the grit and grind group. When Tony Allen and his situation, pretty much being close to being resolved now, now that we know, how he'll be, punished through that situation. We'll see when his potential announcement could come. And then you got like a guy like Conley who's still playing. Marc Gasol, I think that's one that'll be addressed probably in the next couple years or so, 2-3 years. So I think that core, the core four guys, are pretty much the focus right now, and then they'll shift after that.
It just, I mean, again, I know he was not as universally beloved here as those others, but I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer now, and he was a huge part of the start of the franchise in Memphis, and of course those first playoff teams. Like it's just weird to not do that.
What? It just. Like, okay, this is the kid from Memphis and me speaking here. Like, someone who grew up here and when we were kids, we tuned into the Grizzlies, but we weren't tuned into the Grizzlies as much as now. I tell people, I think those teams were good. You look at 2000, I think it was 2004, 2005, won 50-plus games with Hubie Brown, Jerry West, Executive of the Year. But that team, if you remember, the Grizzlies were getting swept in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much.
Every year?
Every year. I think they lost, their first 3 series. They got swept in the playoffs. And then, on top of that, it wasn't until the grit and grind era where they had, a notable identity. Mm-hmm. Like, the Grizzlies at that time, they weren't known for being scrappy. They weren't known for being, this high-powered offense. Or just playing basketball. It wasn't really, stardom on that team. Pau Gasol at that time was a one-time All-Star in Memphis. When he went to L.A. is when, of course, you're playing alongside Kobe Bryant. And, that does it for you. But in Memphis, he was a one-time All-Star. I mean, we liked watching guys like Shane Battier, loved watching Stromile Swift dunk. But you look across the league, Stromile Swift was throwing it down, but so was Josh Smith in Atlanta. So was Amari Stoudemire over there in Phoenix and whatnot. So it's I just don't think the Grizzlies had that identity that made people want to say, I want to watch the Memphis Grizzlies, or I want to tune into what the Grizzlies are doing. And that's no knock on Pau at all. Pau was super. He was doing the same things in Memphis that he ended up doing in L.A. It's just with L.A., he was on a bigger stage. He was playing alongside of Kobe Bryant, and that kind of, took his career in that direction at that time. I mean, it happens a lot in sports. We see it a lot of times. Who you're playing with, when you're playing with them, and how much you're winning has a lot of impact on it, your overall career success, even more so than your individual numbers.
He is DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal covering the Grizzlies, and as he said, and I mentioned this earlier, the schedule will be coming out tomorrow. We'll have that full schedule. So next week when we talk to DeMichael, we could talk about that schedule and know a little bit more. And heck, before long, camp's going to be opening up, and the season will be upon us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's so much to discuss there, so I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, DeMichael. We'll talk to you next week, man.
All right, talk to you later, Eli.
DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal. Folks, have you discovered Genesis Diamonds yet? You need to if you haven't, and I know a lot of people are, because I've been hearing from people who go in there and are blown away. It's again, it's hard to describe. You just have to experience it for yourself. When you walk in and just see the selection that they have case after case after case of just engagement rings, let alone everything else that they have case after case after case of. And the range of stuff for every possible budget out there, from under $100 to thousands of dollars. And great people, because they're not working on commission. So they're not trying to pressure you into buying the most expensive thing in the store. They're there to help you. They want to. They treat their customers as better than anybody. Because they're not trying to pressure you to do anything. They're trying to educate you on diamonds, on jewelry, what you're looking for, what you should be looking for, what affects the price, why is this much, that much, all of these things. That's what they'll do for you at Genesis Diamonds. So the selection is amazing. The prices are great too, because this is direct importer pricing. This is a man, Boaz, who's was in the importer business, decided he got tired of selling to the stores who put these huge markups. He would just sell directly to the public and save you money. It's a different diamond buying experience that you get at Genesis Diamonds. But it's not just diamonds, all fine jewelry, including pre-owned Rolex watches, which we got a great selection of as well. Go check them out in the beautiful new showroom of Genesis Diamonds, Poplar Commons Shopping Center. That's at Poplar and Perkins Extended. They're kind of right there in the middle of it. You'll be blown away. You'll be amazed. It's a different experience, and one that you'll keep going back to over and over again because of the experience you get at Genesis Diamonds. 5 favorite things when we come back here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Attention, everyone. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. Let me say that again. Family Leisure is needing your help to clear out their inventory. And to do so, there are tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools are $1,000 off. Special 24-foot round pools for less than $2,000. Select play gyms, only $18.99. Hey, if you need patio furniture, they have patio furniture that's now up to 30% off. Spas are in stock. They're up to $1,200 off. Now listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. 24 months, same as cash financing, is now available through this sale. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory, so come and do your part at Family Leisure. Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right, over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing direct to the public. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long, because right now when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. How about Cincinnati? They nearly pulled the trick 2 years ago. I'm riding them. Great quarterback, solid offensive line, talent on defense, and consistency with a coaching staff. Plus, they've got experience in the big games recently. They've been close. I think they finally knocked down the door. So visit FanDuel.com/win and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/win.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, August 26, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications, performing basic testing, and interviewing candidates on site. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. Salary starting at $60,700. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Did you know a percentage of accidents are because people are texting and driving at the same time? If you've been hit by a driver texting and not paying attention to the road, call the law offices of Arthur Horn III. You probably know them for their big cases, but they know your case is big too. Let them represent you. Join the winning team at the law offices of Arthur Horn III. Call today, Arthur Horn III, 901-331-1816. It's 901-331-1816. And please, don't text and drive.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Witness the power.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here, 932 in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. That is Family Leisure. And again, this hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Located on Ridgeway 385 online, AcuraofMemphis.com. You can't get a better day to go take a test drive. It's a beautiful day to do anything, but certainly it's a great day to go take a test drive at one of those beautiful Acura automobiles. You can look around the lot without sweating to death today. You can walk around, check out the cars, and talk to the great folks at Acura of Memphis. Get yourself a great automobile, whether it be new or pre-owned. Folks at Acura of Memphis are going to take good care of you. Time now for 5 favorite things.
I'm Bob. I like a number that's easy to count to. That's why I really appreciate the number 5. You just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and there you are at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 on it. 5. Now you may notice that if you multiply 5 by an even number, your product will end in 0. And if you multiply 5 by an odd number, your product will end in 5.
5 favorite things.
Indeed, we do it each and every Wednesday, 5 favorite things. And this week's topic, this week's category is your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection. And again, I'm leaving this very loose. If you do, and if you haven't sent in a list yet and you are, if you could include the connection, because some of these movies, I don't know what I may not know what the connection is. If it's an actor, actress, it may have been filmed in Memphis. It could be about a Memphis subject. There could be whatever. That Memphis connection is your 5 favorite movies. And you can get those lists in many ways. You can do it via the Sports 56 listener line, texting in 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. And you can also send them via Twitter at Eli560, at Sports56WHBQ. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on YouTube if you're watching us there. Wherever you're watching us, whatever you're doing, you can get those lists in very easily. I do have a list from Greg that he did before he left. But we will start, I'll start first, then we'll get you, Zach, and then I'll go to Greg's list.
All right.
So again, your 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection. I do have an honorable mention, and I didn't, just because this was a documentary, I kind of separated it from the others that are actual feature movies. But Undefeated the story of the Manassas High School, the documentary about them, Bill Courtney, and that entire thing. Absolutely fantastic stuff. You could absolutely put it in your top 5. Because it was more of a documentary, I separated it from the other 5, but do want to at least give it an honorable mention. Number 5, I go with the recent Elvis. Outstanding movie. And, of course, Academy Award nominated. Did the dude who won Elvis, or played Elvis, did he win the Academy Award for Best Actor? I'm pretty sure he won, he won one of the awards. At one of the award shows, I'm pretty sure he won. I don't know I can't remember if at the Academy Awards he won, but I know at one of the award shows for sure he won Best Actor for that. He was outstanding, and I really, really enjoyed that Elvis movie. Number 4, Blue Chips. Of course, Penny Hardaway in the movie. Fantastic stuff with Shaq and all that. And Blue Chips, just one of my, not an elite sports movie, but good. A very, very good movie. Number 3, The Firm, which was shot here in Memphis. Number 2, Castaway. Of course, the pilot, FedEx pilot, they lived in Memphis in the movie, all of that stuff. So Castaway, a very direct Memphis tie in that one. And a great movie. And then number 1, this is the one that I never knew until I was starting to look at this, that there was a Memphis tie, that there apparently is a scene that is, as what Grant said, it's a shot of the Memphis, the courthouse here. But I had no idea, and I would not have, if you had yesterday, I would not have known this was going to be on my list. But if since there is, and everywhere I look, everybody says there is a Memphis tie, because that scene is in there, and if it's in there, then it's got to be number 1 on my list. And number 1, Silence of the Lambs, because I love Silence of the Lambs. Great, great movie.
That's interesting.
And again, I just got to go with what everybody says. I had no clue that there was a shot of Memphis in Silence of the Lambs until I started doing the research. So there you go. Silence of the Lambs, number 1 on mine. All right, Zach.
All right, so no honorable mention from my list, by the way. So we're gonna start with number 5, and I went with Blue Chips. I think it's the obvious with Penny and Shaq, more so with Penny. Number 4, The Green Book. It was a much newer film. I think it's an adaptation of the book, the actual book, but
what is the tie? What is?
So the actor, I forgot, David Calloway. Mm-hmm. He's from Memphis.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so he's the guy that's the pianist in the movie.
Okay. I'm not familiar with the movie.
Number 3,
I thought at first you said The Green Mile, and I was like, Green Mile? And I was like, okay, no, Green Book.
Yeah, two different movies.
Yeah, completely different. Yes, okay, so here we
go. Number 3, I went with Undefeated, with Bill Courtney and the Manassas High School team. Number 2, I think you'll be surprised by this. I think in your mind, you probably think this should be number 1 on my list, and that's Hustle and Flow.
Well, yes, I knew it would be high on your list. I was figuring it'd probably be number 1, but no, okay. So now I'm intrigued what number 1 is.
Number 1, and you'll be surprised. And this was my teaser from earlier in the show. Forrest Gump. Why? Why, you say? So in the scene where Forrest is running, you see him running across a bridge. From what I was told, that scene there with all the reporters was shot in Memphis on the bridge.
Really?
Yeah. And then my drama teacher. Well, she wasn't my teacher, but my drama teacher in high school. She was one of the reporters asking Forrest the question while he was running across the bridge.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How about that? See, that's why this is a good kind. I learned stuff. I learned about Silence of the Lambs. I did not know that. I was thinking maybe you said when he was running, like they show him running through Memphis, and I can't remember all the places they showed him running. But that's okay, cool. If I didn't know that, heck, Forrest Gump would certainly been on my list. Absolutely. Before, what a great movie. I had no idea, and I never saw that come up anywhere. As far as when I was looking at this. All right, Greg's list. He has an honorable mention for Hustle and Flow. Number 5, Making the Grade, a 1984 movie with Judd Nelson that was filmed at Rhodes College. I did not know that. Number 4, Walk the Line, That one rather obvious. Number 3, Misery. Kathy Bates, of course, the star. She's from Memphis, or born in Memphis, I guess, and there's a lot of people that are going to use Kathy Bates movies, and certainly that is correct. It applies. Number 2, Blue Chips. And number 1, The Firm, for Greg on his 5 favorite movies with a Memphis connection. All right, to the Sports 56 listener line. I mentioned this earlier. Now, John from Covington, he did ask me to surrounding, communities count, and I did say yes. I didn't know how far he was going to go. But I'll give it to him. He's got number 5, Memphis Belle. Number 4, Open Range, Michael Jeter. I guess he must be from Memphis. Number 3, this is a great one. I didn't even think of this at all. I don't know if it made my top 5, but I certainly would have considered it. Priscilla Presley in Naked Gun 2.5. I love Naked Gun movies. And I didn't even think about it. Yes, Priscilla Presley is in Naked Gun 2.5. Number 2, he's got Shaft with Isaac Hayes. And number 1, he goes Morgan Freeman. Again, Morgan Freeman from down the road in Mississippi. I'll allow it. Morgan Freeman with Unforgiven. Marie goes number 5, The Firm. Number 4, Tammy, starring Kathy Bates. Number 3 uses Morgan Freeman for Shawshank Redemption. Again, if I use Morgan Freeman, Shawshank would probably be number 1 on my list. I love Shawshank Redemption. Number 2, 3,000 Miles to Graceland. That one's rather obvious. And number 1 uses Kathy Bates in Misery. Dwayne, number 5, Soul Men. Number 4, Hustle and Flow. Number 3, The Grace Card. Can you look that? What is the Grace Card? And what is the tie to Memphis? Number 2, The Firm. And number 1, Silence of the Lambs. Sean has, oh my, boy, see, some people are coming to some good stuff here. Number 5, The Blues Brothers, because Booker T and the MGs are in there. Oh, he does have an honorable mention, by the way, to Undefeated. Number 5, Blues Brothers with Booker T and the MGs. Number 4, Castaway. Number 3, Man on the Moon with Jerry Lawler. Number 2, Great Balls of Fire. And number 1, Misery with Kathy Bates. And Kathy Bates and Misery, I think, are going to appear on a lot of lists.
So the movie The Grace Card, it was filmed in Memphis.
Okay. How old is it? Like, when was it?
October 14, 2009.
Does it have any big stars? Who's in it? Like, any big stars?
Louis Gossett Jr.
Oh, okay.
Michael Higginbottom. Michael Jeffrey Joyner.
I am not familiar with that movie at all. Okay.
And so for a couple of landmarks here in the city, in the movie, they shot the film, I guess part of it, at the Messiah Missionary Baptist Church off of Chelsea.
Okay.
That's in North Memphis. And then obviously they included St. Francis Hospital and then like the Mississippi River.
I no clue. Let's see. Ron has number 5, The Client. Number 4, Blue Chips. Number 3, Walk the Line. Number 2, The Firm. And number 1, Castaway. Tennessee Tom says Isaac Hayes was from Covington. Again, Covington's fine. Yeah, Covington's fine. Like the Morgan Freeman, we're pushing it a little further, but Covington, and Isaac, and plus Isaac Hayes, certainly. I mean, he had a restaurant in Memphis. Like Isaac Hayes, it's like very much a Memphis tie,
right?
With Isaac Hayes. That's like we would say Justin Timberlake's from Millington, and so but there's obviously a Memphis tie,
right?
As far as that is concerned. Let's see here. From Tennessee, Tom. Honorable mention to Misery. Number 5, In Time, featured Justin Timberlake. So that's again, like, I'd be like, oh, no, he's from Millington. Well, again, there's obviously Memphis. Number 4, Making the Grade. He's got that one. Again, I had not familiar with that movie either. And Judd Nelson I actually like. Number 3, Silence of the Lambs. Number 2, The Rose. I'm not familiar with that. A portion of the movie was set in Memphis. And number 1, Undefeated. The story of Manassas football and, of course, Bill Courtney. He says Hannibal's held in Memphis. The shots of Memphis, police cars, courthouse, etc. It's where he takes off the guy's face. I got to go back and I'm going to have to go back and watch. I haven't watched Silence of the Lambs in a long, long time. I got to go back and watch it now and notice. It didn't register with me at all, but I got to go back and check that out. And it's always a good excuse to go watch Silence of the Lambs anyway. Let's see here. Number 5, Undefeated. Number 4, Castaway. Number 3, The Poor and the Hungry. No idea. Number 2, Mystery Train. No idea on that one either. Number 1, The Rainmaker. That one definitely. Honorable mention to Big Star, Nothing Can Hurt Me. A documentary about the Memphis 70s rock band Big Star. Okay. Will you look up Mystery Train and The Poor and the Hungry and tell me what those are and what their Memphis connections are? Our buddy John Neal from Courage Through Cancer has Blue Chips, The Firm, Elvis, Silence of the Lambs, and The Client. Grant, honorable mention to The Firm. Number 5, Taxi Driver with Sybil Shepherd, who lived in Memphis. Number 5, Silence of the Lambs. Number 3, The Rainmaker. Number 2, The Social Network, Justin Timberlake. And number 1, Titanic, Kathy Bates. Again, he did another Kathy Bates, not Misery, but went Titanic with Kathy Bates. Cullen, The Waterboy. Oh, that's Kathy Bates too, right? Yeah, she was in that. He's got number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He says that Claire Grant went to high school and college here and is in that movie. I am not familiar. I don't watch those movies. I've never watched any of those movies, so I don't know. And I'm not familiar with Claire Grant either. Gone in 60 Seconds, Silence of the Lambs, and A Time to Kill. A couple of others mentioned. Somebody else mentioned Hustle and Flow. Somebody mentioned 21 Grams. You're a Guardians of the Galaxy person, aren't you? Do you watch those?
Yes.
Do you have any idea who Claire Grant is?
I'm not aware.
Okay, apparently went to high school and college here and is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I believe that is all of the list that I have at this point. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up our program for the day, tell you what's on the table for tomorrow as we continue here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Are you ready to conquer the great outdoors? Come in today and gear up with the dependable Suzuki King Quad ATV because there's no rest for the rugged. Its unparalleled combination of power, versatility, and reliability allow you to tackle the toughest terrains with ease. And right now, there are lots of ways to help you hit the trail, including low APR financing and low monthly payments for qualified buyers, discounts for the military and first responders, and more. Roll into Olive Branch Motorsports in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and experience the Suzuki King Quad ATV's unmatched capabilities today.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. What people really love about Genesis is the transparency, the education. Genesis is revealing all the long-held secrets of the diamond industry. We'll teach you how to buy like a dealer buys, how to understand the ways diamonds are priced by the wholesalers, how slight variations in size and clarity can translate into thousands in savings passed along to you. At Genesis, our non-commissioned diamond experts are here to guide you every step of the way. Our diamond education will make you a better, more informed consumer. Even if you don't buy from us, we'll make you a more dangerous shopper when you visit other places. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar and Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
You want the hottest summer deals in the Mid-South? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 41 MPG Highway, we got it in 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing. Get SUV action in 2023 Nero EV Wind. 253 miles of EPA estimated range. $292 a month, $49.99 due at signing. Or 2023 Kia EV6 Wind with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE. Only $425 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P501 5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P560 3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. No Greg today. Greg will be back. He'll be around the rest of the week. He'll be back next week. Well, so 2 of those were very, that I was asking you to look up that I was not familiar with. They're very direct Memphis ties. Mystery Train, 1989 comedy drama anthology film that was set in Memphis.
Right.
Not familiar with it. See, again, that's why I like categories like this. I like to learn something.
Yeah, and then The Poor and the Hungry. It was directed
film, right?
by Craig Brewer
and filmed in Memphis.
Yeah, and shot in Memphis.
So those are obviously, again, I'm not familiar with either one of those, but that's why you learn things. Very nice, very nice. Good job with all of your lists. Let's see. Grant says Claire Grant is married to Seth Green. Definitely from Memphis. She was in Walk the Line and Black Snake Moan, but was just an extra in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Okay, so he says the bridge from Forrest Gump is in South Carolina, not Memphis.
What?
He says, but your teacher being a reporter could still count.
That's technically still counts.
Still a Memphis tie, so yeah, it still counts. But he says, I thought, because I would thought if that bridge was the Memphis bridge, like that would, because I was Googling all kinds of different connections, like movies, Memphis, and different combinations of words. And I was like, that would certainly have had to come up if that was the Memphis bridge.
I got questions now. Because I was told that it was actually the Memphis bridge.
I think you got bad information. But again, it still counts. Because you would be one of very few people that know the Memphis connection because you're your teacher.
Right.
But like I wouldn't know but there is a Memphis connection if that's your teacher and one of the reporters.
So there you go.
So there you go. So it still counts for you. No question about that. But
no adjustment with that.
I will. You are not required to adjust your list. I will let you get by with it. You are allowed to continue with that list and go forward with it. So that's going to do it for today's program. Tomorrow on the show, of course, Kerry Miller. We'll talk some Major League Baseball with him. And again, the 9 o'clock hour tomorrow, it is the season debut of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour with Harold Grader in studio. We're talking with him about the college football season, of course, the summer and all the different things that AutoZone Liberty Bowl had going on. Of course, Alex Collins, who again was the MVP of their game in his last college game that he ever played. So we'll be talking a lot of college football, and we'll do that each and every Thursday with Harold Grader now throughout the college football season, starting tomorrow during our 9 o'clock hour each and every Thursday. For Zach, I'm Eli. Stay tuned here. Coming up next, you got Wolo and Friends here on Sports 56. We appreciate all of you joining us. Certainly appreciate Tom Murphy and DeMichael Cole joining us on the program. All of your texts, all of your messages on Twitter and elsewhere with your 5 favorite things list. We certainly appreciate it. And again, tomorrow, not when we're on the air, but later in the day, I'm not sure exactly when, we will get that Grizzlies schedule, the full schedule for the coming season. Stay tuned. Wolo and Friends is coming up next. We'll talk to you again tomorrow here on Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.